Hello, world. Today's guest on the podcast is Marty Ray of the Marty Ray Project. He's a musician, singer, and songwriter based in Memphis. He is just an all-around funny motherfucker and super talented dude. His YouTube channel, he's got these remakes. He makes these insanely good music videos with his video producer, who has actually made a guest appearance towards the end of the podcast. And they have trillions of views. You can see him on his YouTube channel, Marty Ray Project. Anyways, this was a super fun conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did. Please welcome Marty Ray.
I like it. I like your setup.
I do too. Marty was
somebody was on here the other day, because I don't know anything about audio, but somebody was on here is like, oh man, I got the SM7Bs or whatever. I'm like, what's that? Is that a camera? And he was like talking to me, and he was like looking at me like you were looking at me a minute ago. Like, how the fuck do you not know what an SM7B is? It's the name of this microphone.
Right.
And I was like, I don't know. I just ordered what everyone else uses on fucking YouTube.
You looked at Joe Rogan and
yeah, that's what everyone uses.
Right. Well, not everyone. I don't, but I
you
wish.
Probably have way better microphones.
No. I don't. I use a Aston Origin. I like those. But these are like really the best mic for this situation.
Yeah, these are super crispy mics. I love them.
Yeah,
and they're not that expensive. They're like $300 or something.
Yeah, they're not too bad. That's about what mine cost. It's about the same thing.
But there's microphones online that are like thousands of dollars.
That's foolish.
Have you seen the one Drake uses?
No.
I saw an Instagram post that showed like Drake's microphone that he has in his home recording studio, and it's supposed to be like $60,000 mic or something.
Probably a Neumann.
Yeah.
You
and
think?
It probably cooks you breakfast and makes your coffee.
Like, what kind of mic? Can you tell that a mic is
singing
$60,000? Like, does it really make that much of a difference?
Probably not, but singing, I can see you paying more money than just speaking.
Yeah.
Because speaking, you can
right
really use anything. Look at the podcasts that are out here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're all making content, and it's good content. And because people aren't as judgy if it's just me talking or you talking.
Right.
As they are if I'm singing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And if people are playing music, I'm sure they got way better sound system setups than they do if they're listening to a podcast on their iPhone.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. So
all right, cool. Well, let's like officially start this thing. So, Marty, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about who you are and a little bit about your background, for people that don't know already.
Well, I'm just a man that God put here to sing and write songs, and some people like them and some people don't. The ones that don't, I still love them, and I've been doing it. I came out of the womb singing. You know, when the doctor pulled me out, I was singing.
Were you really?
It was a weird situation. Yeah, you believe that?
What song were you singing?
I think
Hank Williams?
I think so. I think it was Hank Williams. There's a tear in my beard. No.
No. Tear in your beard?
In my beard.
In your beard, yeah. That's what I thought.
I had a beard when I was a baby. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Can you tell?
I believe it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You got a solid beard.
He thinks I'm serious about everything I say. He don't know me yet. He's like, man, this guy's had a life. This is a crazy life this guy's had.
Yeah, and Michael Jackson recorded on these mics that we're
this
using.
Exact mic.
That's insane, man.
B&H took it. You bought it.
That's crazy.
But he really did record on the SM7. No, I'm just a singer, and I started writing songs when I was 12 years old. Went through a phase where the people I looked up to in music in my family, they said I couldn't sing and stuff like that, so kind of held me back for a long time, and it was on purpose, though. It was meant to be. So then fast forward to my 20s, and I had discovered a little app called GarageBand. You ever heard of that?
Oh, yeah. I used a lot of GarageBand before.
Yeah. So GarageBand came along with about 2005 on an Apple MacBook, first one I ever had. Started recording myself, and I said, I think this does sound pretty good to me. I don't know why they're saying that. So then I just made a video, put it out there for the world to see, and a lot of people seem to like it. About 30,000 views on that video, and I thought, man, I'm famous now. I'm on my way. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And little did I know I really wasn't famous. But at that point, I thought, this might be something. That kind of sparked it, you know, because then people were calling. I was a tow truck driver and a mechanic working for my dad. Now, I know you can't look. I know you look at me and you think he must have came from a law family. right?
No, tow truck driver. I thought that nails it pretty well, actually.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah.
most people don't say that. No, he's so I was getting phone calls at my dad's shop, and they were like, "Hey, man, I love that song. When you gonna make an album?" And I was like, "I don't know. That's a good idea. I really should make an album. If you would buy it, I'll make it."
Yeah.
And these people were like, "Yeah, we'll buy it." And I was like, oh, "Okay, well, I'm about to be rich," and so I ended up CJ Wilder here, who's sitting next to me.
Yeah.
We went to high school together.
Okay.
And he took way before I took the leap into music. He was brave enough because he had a father that was very supportive. My dad was supportive, but he was like, if you're gonna make a living in this world, it's gonna be with these hands. It ain't gonna be with his mind. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's like that could be a dream. That could be something to hold on to in your head, but it's a pipe dream. You know what I mean? You ain't really gonna ever. That's and then even if he would kind of give a little bit and say, I'd say, no, Dad, I'm gonna be a star. You know, I'm gonna be on top of the world. He's like, well, you know, I'll be dead before that happens if that happens. And I'm like, golly, man. At least he gave me an inch. But CJ had a dad that told him, like, CJ went to college, right? And then tell him what you did quickly.
I was lucky to have supportive parents. I, had a little bit of the real world and realized that music was all that I wanted to do and felt like that's why I was here. So when I said, Dad, I want to go to Nashville, he, like, go for it. I mean, you got nothing.
Yeah, didn't you say? I think he went to his dad. He was like, Dad, I don't like college. I want to play music, like kind of like Mark Wahlberg did. Like I want to dance. Remember that? Mark Wahlberg and the other guys. You ever seen the other guys?
It's been a long time. I don't really.
Yeah, one of the other guys, he secretly loves to ballet dance in that movie. So at the end,
Right.
he's like, I just want to dance.
Okay. Yeah.
And like a bird, whatever. CJ was that guy. What with music? He went to his dad. If I would have went to my dad out of college, and I said, I'm dropping out of college, Daddy. I can't. I got to go do music. He'd be like, No, you're not. I'm gonna beat you if that happens.
Yeah.
On the other hand, his dad was like, if you ain't happy, then you better get to Nashville and get after the music, And he said, because if you're doing what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
That's awesome.
That's
man.
what he said. So then his dad ended up supporting me, later on.
Really?
Yeah. So, like, his dad became my biggest fan before I had any fans, before CJ was even a fan. You know what I mean? CJ hated my music. His dad loved it.
Oh, I couldn't stand it.
Wow.
No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
No, but I told that because he kind of inspired me. Because what age were you, 18?
When I came to Nashville, I was 21.
21 years old, and he just took the leap. Where most people in Blytheville, they don't take the leap. We're kind of trained and taught to dream within our city limits. So there's a steel mill there called Nucor Steel, and that's kind of what you're trained to say. Oh, you get a job here, that's how you're going to make a living. That's because it's a good job, $100,000 plus a year. But is that kind of how you remember growing up?
Exactly.
Yeah. So even in like high school, you're everybody's kind of molded to think, hey, you got this industry out here, so that's what get you a degree that helps you get a job out there and helps you go up the ranks. You're not really taught, hey, you're good at music, you're good at art, you're good at speaking, you're good at this or that. You need to go after that. No matter what it takes, you go after that. Not really taught that in Gosling, are you?
Back then, we weren't. A cool thing about going back is seeing a lot of people that I used to see before, and you can tell there's a giant appreciation. Of course, COVID has changed everything. Everybody's starving for entertainment and starving for, an outlet. But yeah, back then that was the thing. Nucor, Maverick, several steel mills right on the Mississippi River. So that's the goal: get out there, get a good job, provide for your family, start your family, and coming to Nashville, put me on a different path. And then I was doing this jam session at the Fiddle and Steel guitar bar in Printer's Alley, and Marty said, "Hey, I'm gonna come up.
No,
and sing."
that ain't how that happened. I posted that video, that first video I said I made, and his dad clearly had to send it to him or something because we weren't even friends on Facebook at the time.
Okay.
Because he's younger than me, So he knew me in high school, but I didn't really know him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was like a child to me. Like, how you're like what, 2 years, 3 years behind me?
Yeah.
So, but his dad took a liking to my sound, my voice immediately, and I believe I don't know this, but I believe his dad sent that to me because I got a message, or his dad sent that to him. I got a message from CJ. He said, "Hey man, love that Speckled Bird you did. We do a jam session at Fiddle and Steel. You should come up and sing a couple sometime." And at this point, I had never sang a song in my life in front of people, except for my friends, you know, like playing around or whatever. And terrified. But I said, look, if he did it, if he actually packed up, left, and went after this music thing, then maybe I can too, you know. And so, because he was doing, he's done big things. I don't know if you're into country music, but he's done things with Toby Keith. He was on tour with Toby Keith's daughter, and they were on tour together and wrote songs with some really incredible people. But when I came up there, I walk in and CJ goes, "Hey man," he gives me a hug, you know, and he says, "What do you want to do?" And I'm like, "Y'all know Simple Man?" You know what I'm saying? You know Simple Man. You know Simple Man?
No.
You don't know Leonard Skinner?
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah,
Be
yeah,
a
yeah.
simple
Yes. I know that.
kind of man. So I go in there. Of course, they know this, right? They know this freaking song. Everybody knows this song, especially if you play in bars.
Right.
You know this song?
Yep.
And I'm walking in there like I've been here before, you know? Like I know what I'm doing. I'm like, "Yeah, y'all know Simple Man?" He's like, yeah, we know that one. And then I was like, what else you want me to sing? You know, terrified, like a little child, but on the outside had this big, you couldn't tell, could you?
No, he pulled it off well, man. I was like,
Really?
I was like, dang, Marty Ray coming over here. You know, we got to stick together, being from the same place, you know. So it was awesome to reconnect because I did know him in high school, and he actually almost beat up me and my friend one time at a party. You don't remember that?
He almost beat you up?
I don't remember that.
Almost. We were fast talkers and fast runners.
Oh shit!
So we got out of there. But yeah, it's Nashville's an amazing place for cultivating relationships, and you know that this was just another one that you know, Nashville was the field, and he was fertilizing his thing. It was so cool to watch all these viral videos just pop up, you know, and kind of take over the internet. It was really, really cool. It's still happening.
Yeah.
It's really neat.
Still happening, yeah. It's just like I live video to video right now.
Really?
So what happened is, after that video,
It sounds like somebody has a fucking generator right outside the window.
I love generators.
Me too.
Yeah. So what happened was, after I did that, I started making videos regularly. I said, I'm going to start being consistent here and try to not be a tow truck driver. So I wrote a song called Tow Truck Driver, right? The first album I made was called Tow Truck Driver. And I had 4 songs, and I said, I'm going to go after this. I'm going to go after this thing full force. We'll see what God does with it, because it's up to him, and it still is to this day. So I get these 4 songs together. I get the last $3,000 I got in my bank account, I think it was, and I get with CJ. I say, hey, I want to record some songs, and he puts everything together. I borrow my uncle's van. I sleep in the back of the van when I drive down there. I'm on a parking lot, right? I sleep in the back of the van before the day we record, and then CJ meets me for breakfast at the place I was sleeping in the parking lot. He's like, where you at? I'm like, I'm over here at Mama J's breakfast place. He goes, oh, yeah, I'll come over there. And I'm like, all right, I'm here. And then when we're in there, I was like, man, it'd been nice to be able to sleep in a bed or something last night. And he wouldn't let me. He said, you can't sleep in my house. Isn't that something?
What a dick.
He really is. I mean, I didn't want to say
Piece
that.
of shit, man.
I'm glad you said that. Yeah, thank you. That's why I brought him here. Now you can leave.
All right.
Now you can leave. So no, but I really did sleep in the van, and we went in there, and that was another time when I was terrified because I'd never been in the studio, but I didn't show it. Like I said, I'm gonna make sure these people know that I'm gonna get these songs done the way I want them done. And that's, but like you might
did too.
and you might not even know to this day that I was actually terrified.
No, I mean, you can always tell there's a little bit of jitters, but it didn't take long. You know, he's a natural. I mean, it's not hard to do what you do. The hard part is capturing it and making it
Yeah.
You know, making it something you can make money on or use and market. The talent was there. It was like you were already doing, you know, you're already doing big things. It's just
the talent's there. It's just like incorporating the discipline is the hard part.
Mm-hmm.
That is the hardest part. Like, you're right, because there's many people, some of the most talented people in the world, you'll never hear from them or see from them because they're waiting tables,
right,
or they're doing whatever. They gave up. You know, the only difference in successful people and unsuccessful people is the ones that didn't give up. If you read any biography, you watch any biopic, you're going to see they all had the same struggles. They might not be the same, but they all had the same moments, those same ticks to check off, right? And it was the ones that kept on going even though they got that made it.
Right. Sitting down, you're actually doing the work. Like,
that's right.
You can't just make it to the promised land by having God-given talent. You have to fucking grind and put in the work every day and make it a job.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So that's what I set out to do. I said, look, if you put me here to sing, if you gave me this talent, then you honor the effort. I'll put forth the effort, and you honor it. And if you honor it, then I know this was what you put me here to do. So there was many times. So I took this album. I had no fans at all. This is a crazy story. I told this the other day. This whole thing, I came down here just to do this podcast. This whole thing turned into this big media tour. I've been singing for 3 days straight, right? That's when my voice is gone. And I was sitting there, I told them on the way over, I said, I came down here just to do his podcast, and I can't even hardly sing. So I can't even sing on his podcast. And I came down here just to be on your podcast. And I'm like, it turned into everything else. We did an event when we first got here. I've had hardly any sleep. We did an event. We got here, sang at this little private entrepreneur group thing. Then the next morning we was on Mike Calta's show.
Were you really?
Yeah, and then we did the show last night, which was almost 3 hours long.
This show's way bigger than this show, so you did
I told him about your show, and he followed you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said, I should know about this show. I said, yeah, you should know about this.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he's probably going to, I know, he said he was going to follow you, so I think he did. Anyway, you're welcome, by the way.
Thank you.
You don't owe me nothing. What ended up happening after that album? Nothing. That's what happened after that album. Absolutely. No, this is true. Listen, nothing happened. Like, I thought when I made this album, now I'm about to be rich. Like, I'm about to get Grammys. Because you know what's funny? We were in the studio the first time, right? I did the first song we recorded was Countryman. I'm a country man, right? And that's kind of how it goes. It's that kind of thing. But it sounds better when my voice isn't destroyed. And as we're doing it, what was his name, Sean? Mm-hmm. The engineer. I don't know if he says this to everybody, but it made me feel good at the time. He goes, "This is a Grammy, everybody." And I'm going, "Oh, remember that?" Mm-hmm. He probably said that to everybody that came in. This is a Grammy. It's a great song. This is a great one.
Probably makes you feel great.
Yeah, I was like, man, they got me winning Grammys already. So, you know, you leave there with this album, you're thinking, this is hot, this fire, this thing's flames. I can't even hold it. So then I'm taking this thing to every famous person, every famous artist that I can get in contact with, however I can do it through whatever meet and greets I buy or whatever I can do. I'm handing this album to them. And I'm thinking, this is how I'm going to make it. This is my end. And I was fortunate enough to know the guy who booked entertainment at Gold Strike Casino. So I'm going to all these meet and greets that he's getting me involved with. It's really not good to drink carbonated beverages doing radio, is it?
Well, maybe it is for you because we get to hear you probably got some pretty impressive burps.
Bow wow. Bow wow wow yippee yo yippee yay bow wow yippee yo yippee yay. Anyway, so I'm handing this album out. The first person was a guy named Tracy Lawrence, which I doubt you listen to country. Do you listen to country?
I don't listen to. It's a long story. I have a friend who introduced me to Hank Williams III. So he's the only country person I listen to.
Yeah, he's definitely not country.
Hank 3.
He's not country
anymore.
He
talks about like fuck that pop country bullshit.
He might have went back to country.
He's like punk rock country.
Yeah. For a while he was like real like out there. He was out there.
I love my favorite quote is he's like, Kid Rock, he's a Yank. He ain't no son of Hank. He hates on Kid Rock. Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Yeah,
he has a lot of really funny quotes. Like I put the cunt in country. I put the dick in Dixie.
Golly, he sounds a lot like. Have you ever listened to Hank 3?
Yeah.
You have?
There's an album that he has called Straight to Hell.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I fucking love Hank 3.
Pretty country. And then there's also it's a 2-disc set, and the second one is like all spooky, like a train. It's like an hour-long track of a train. And if you just are sitting there listening, you're like, you hear the train off in the distance, and then all of a sudden, I mean, if it's on speakers and it's cranked,
There you go.
your house is going to shake. You know what I mean? It's like, like a train is going through your house, but it's in your speakers.
Yeah, sometimes I just like waking up in the morning and just if I'm up really early and like have a long drive, I'll just blast Hank 3 like super loud, and it just gets me fired up.
That's your favorite artist, Hank 3?
That's my favorite country artist.
Yeah. Is he country though?
He has done everything.
Well, his dad's Hank Williams. I mean, he's got
I know that. But I think he came out originally. He was country, but then he went to like rock. Like it's kind of
like
rocky thing.
Rockabilly. You know,
it's not like let your hair down, my lifted truck, my pickup truck.
It's not like country music singer.
No.
I've always been a real close family. That's his dad. It's not like that either.
Yeah.
Right?
He's got like this high pitched, like fucking meth addict hillbilly voice.
Yeah. We'll listen to some when we leave.
I'll play like a weed eater.
Yeah, he sounds like a weed eater, kind of.
Yeah. We'll play you some Honky Tonk Heroes or whatever.
Yeah.
Get you on the.
But anyways, that's my extent of country.
Well, Tracy Lawrence is a country singer.
Okay. I've heard of him.
A pretty big one. He did a song called
Baby at Birmingham.
Sounded just like that. Yeah. No. Have you heard a song called what's that big one that on the first album he did?
Sticks and Stones.
No, maybe not the first album. Anyway, he's one of the bigger acts from like the 90s and maybe before that. But anyway, I handed this album to him. This was the first time that I ever thought, okay, there's something here. I handed this to him. He didn't really respond much at all. Took a picture with him. And he leaves after the show, and I hear nothing. I've still heard nothing from him. But he did at least go into his bus after that show, and he listened to that album apparently because he got back off. My buddy Neil, who I told you I was friends with, that booked the talent at the Gold Strike, he got back off the bus real quick, and he said, "Hey, Neil," he said, "tell that kid he's got something," like that. And then Neil told me that. He said, "Tracy Lawrence got back off his bus and wanted me to tell you to keep at it. You got something." So then at this point I'm thinking, man, I'm on my way, right? So then that kind of keeps you going for a little while until it don't. And then you're like, there's nothing happening here.
Right.
There's nothing happening. So then another show comes and you hand your CD to somebody because you're down, you're about to give up. This is what I'm talking about in success. You get to these places where you get down. You're like, it ain't going to happen. I thought it would happen soon. It ain't happening. I thought it would happen before here. It ain't happening, And so if you'll wait a little bit and stay with it, something will come to spark you right back up. Like that Tracy Lawrence thing. So then it goes like this. I was here. I was going down Tracy Lawrence. It kept me up, right? And then I came back down, and I met Charlie Daniels. You know who Charlie Daniels is, I'm sure.
Yes.
Devil went down to Georgia.
Yep.
He was looking for a soda still, right. So I handed Charlie Daniels my album, and he signed my guitar. And very swell guy. We didn't really have an interaction that was like, oh man, we're gonna do music together. Wasn't that? But he goes, thanks, son. Took a picture, and then about 2 months later, I get a tweet at Marty Ray Project from Charlie Daniels' official Twitter at Marty Ray Project. Listen to your music, it rocks, like that.
Wow.
And so at this point, you're thinking, man, this is now public. This is bigger than the Tracy Lawrence thing, because now Charlie Daniels went on record and said my music rocks.
Right.
So then I'm thinking, now this album's about to blow up. It didn't. It still didn't do nothing. Absolutely nothing. But I'm here again. And now I'm kind of getting here. I'm living off that Charlie Daniels high. So then little by little you start going, well, maybe this ain't what I'm supposed to do. And so then all of a sudden I go to a B.B. King show, right? And you know who B.B. King is.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
I know Charlie. I know who Charlie Daniels is. I know who BB King is. I'm like 2 for 5 so far.
You really are. We're gonna keep testing you.
All right.
I think we're gonna get better and better as we go.
I also knew the Leonard Skinner song. I just didn't know the title. I didn't know the name of it.
Right. I knew you knew that Leonard Skinner song.
Yeah.
You've been in a bar before.
I have been in a bar before.
Yeah. You look like a. You look like a.
I've been in a few dive bars.
It looks like it. I can tell you. I see you as a dive bar guy.
Oh, total dive bar guy.
Yeah. No, but so BB King. I'm on the front row of BB King show, and I'm just sitting there like this. And before the show, BB comes out, and he's at this point he's already an old man, in a wheelchair, but he can walk enough to sit on a chair in the middle of the stage. And he's playing his first song. Then as he plays, the stage lights are in his eyes, and he's doing this, trying to see the people. And he goes, turn the house lights up, and they turn them up a little bit, and he still can't see. He's like, no, let's turn them all the way up. So they turn them all the way up, and he goes, hey, there's everybody. Like that, and he starts looking around, plays a little while, they start fading the house lights back down, and as they're fading them down, he plays another song. He goes, turn the house lights back up, and they turn them up. He goes, thank you, and he plays a couple more songs, and then they start fading the lights back down again, and then he stops after the next song. He goes, can we just leave the house lights on? I want to see my people. Like that. He didn't want to play and not see the people that he was playing for, because you can't see. They turn his light. This was like a theater setting, at the Gold Strike. So it's like you're in an actual theater, and he's on stage. So when the house lights are off and those cans are in your face, you can't see any. You can't see out there. You can't see nothing.
Right.
So it's essentially like you're singing to yourself. But he wanted to see everybody because he was a real king in music, and so the house lights were on. And I say that because of what happens next. The reason he was able to see me jamming and vibing to his music. I'm sitting there doing this, he's like, and I'm doing this, and I'm just grooving. And then he goes, in the middle of the show, we're talking about, this is the biggest band you've ever seen. We got trumpets over here, got the section of trumpets. We got the drummers, the percussion. It's everything you could think of. Like, it's not your typical blues show.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah, it's not your typical blues.
People.
This is like actual production, but so he's playing, and he's looking, apparently he's seeing me. I don't know, because my eyes are closed, and I'm just, like this, and he goes, hold on, everybody, hold on. The trumpet like that, and you hear the drum go, and like everybody stops, and they're like, what? No, he goes, hold on, everybody, hold on. And he looks right at me, and he goes, as long as that man's having a good time, so am I. Thrill is gone away. And I'm like, what the heck, man? Like,
wow.
So everybody in this place is looking at me like,
who's that?
Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, who is this guy? He must be from a record label or something. Like, BB, that's why BB wanted the house lights on, for this guy, this big bearded fella. Not a typical record exec, A tow truck driver, as you categorized me as soon as I walked in the door.
Tow truck driver or lawyer.
Or lawyer. All right.
Or
you knew it was one of the other.
Yeah,
one of the other.
Or wrestler.
Yeah. We did used to wrestle. We had a homemade ring in Blytheville.
Really? Like backyard type wrestling?
It was a lot like that. But I wasn't involved with the production, but I would get on this ring that my buddies had built inside this nasty, crappy, rusty, tetanus shot needing shed. Right? And there was this, if you jumped off the top rope, you was banging your head on the ceiling type room.
Jesus.
But it was fun to get to slam each other on an actual mat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people couldn't lift me to slam me, but I was slamming a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hell yeah.
People like you, I was slamming them. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what he's doing. I was like, now you do me. And they're like, I can't. I don't think I can, Marty. And it's so, but let me cry a little bit real quick because of how fat I am. Excuse me. All right, back to the story. I'm good now. So, BB, this story gets crazy. It sounds like it's written, right? But it's not written. I've told this a lot of times. At the end of this show, BB wants all the fans to come to the front of the stage. And because I was on the front row the whole time, I let everybody else get in front of me, right? And so at the end, he takes his guitar picks out of his coat pocket, and he throws them like this. And they're so light, they just spread out in front of him, close to him. And these fans that were there, he was trying to give them these pics, and they're getting up there on the stage, getting these pics and getting off. They're not rushing BB or nothing. But the security guards are throwing the fans off the stage, and BB's getting mad. Mm-hmm. He said, "Stop doing that. Stop doing that." And they won't stop doing that. They said, we can't stop getting them off stage. It's our job. But BB was mad, so he goes, he pulls his gold bracelets off and his gold necklace off, and he throws some of the gold over here and some of the gold over here to these people that are on the front row. On the front of that stage. And I'm sitting there thinking, I should have got on the front of that stage, man. Like, I'm sitting there trying to be a good guy, and I just missed out on some BB gold. You would see it right here on me today. As I'm telling this story, I'd be like, this came from BB King. He wore this.
Mr. T.
It's inscribed.
Never take it off.
I bet it was inscribed in there. You know what I'm saying? Somebody has something that says BB King to be. It's just crazy to think about that. But anyway, so then because I knew the guy that booked entertainment, I got to meet BB King. So we got to go backstage. So then everybody else left, and there was about 50 people that were getting to meet him. And I was the one that didn't necessarily pay to meet him. You know what I mean? All those other people were paying. And they all had guitars, and I had my guitar. I just bought this Martin guitar. I had bought a lot of cheap guitars and never learned how to play. But this time I spent like $2,000 on a guitar because I thought this might force me to learn. Mm-hmm. And but I still hadn't learned. I just would mess around and be like, I'm no good, and then put it up. And so I had that, and we're being led down the side of the stage, and it's very narrow. It's a very narrow hallway, but it might be just because I'm fat, but it was very narrow to me, right? Very narrow to me. And it was dark, so they're leading us with a flashlight, and the row of security guards sitting there like this as we're walking by the entrance to the stage. They're all blocking that. And you can't hardly see anything besides this flashlight. And you're walking, and then as I'm walking by, I'm the one in the last of the line. In between these security guards, this massive hand comes out and grabs my hand as I'm walking by and holds my hand like this and is pulling me towards the security guards. And I'm being like this. I'm doing this, and they go, what are you doing? You got to move on. They're shoving me. I'm like, somebody got a hold of my hand. Somebody's got my hand. And they part ways, and there sits BB King in a wheelchair pulling me to him, just like this. And he goes, I want you to know that I enjoyed playing for you tonight. I was like, you know what I'm saying? You can't even form words at this point. All I got is a guitar, and that album was in my coat, and I had his actual record in my hand. And he goes, what you have there? And I hand it to him, and he's looking at it. He goes, boy, I sure was a lot prettier then. I said, you're still pretty to me, Mr. King. And he said, I love you. I said, I love you. You know what I mean? And so he says, give me a Sharpie. And he signs that, and he said, I'll see you on back there. Like that, right? And at this point, you're thinking, why in the freak is this happening to me? Like, I don't know BB King. I still don't know BB King other than this story. Mm-hmm. And I still don't, I know why. Like, God did that. This was the moments I'm talking about, those moments that do this. Yeah. So God said, I'm going to give you a high that you'll never come down from. And that's what this story is. So then I go back there. I got my guitar, and I'm watching all these people be turned away that don't have Gibson guitars because he was apparently contractually obligated to only sign Gibson guitars.
Really?
Because that's what Lucille was that he played. Lucille was Gibson. So I'm watching all these people leave after getting a picture with him in the green room and all this stuff, and they're leaving with their guitar unsigned if it wasn't Gibson. I have a Martin, and I'm thinking, shoot, I should have bought a Gibson. You know what I mean? Yeah. I spent $2,000. I could have bought a Gibson. Now I ain't going to get BB King on it. So all these people are in front of me. As I said, about 50 people. And I'm seeing BB's energy is just leaving. After doing all the like this, and in between, you could, as I'm watching in the door, you can see BB like, kind of doing this every now and then because he's an old man, mm-hmm. And he's doing this, and then somebody comes to him, he goes, hey, baby, and he does this, and he'll smile. He's just a genuinely nice dude, man. Yeah. He was, and so then I come in, his energy was almost gone. It was almost like, man, if I don't quit soon, I'm gonna pass out. I gotta stop. And I walk in, and he goes, hey, my friend. Like we had known each other our whole lives, right? And I'm thinking, my best friend. You know what I mean?
Wow.
You're my best friend,
Yeah,
BB.
I love you.
Yeah, I love you, BB. And then he comes up. I mean, I come up, he goes, and I hand him my guitar, and he goes, what you got here? And I said, I'd love for you to sign that. And he looks up at the head of it and sees the Martin, and he does this, and he looks up at me, he goes, I'm going to sign it anyway. And he signed my guitar, BB King. And it could be the only non-Gibson guitar in the world signed by BB King, right?
No way.
It could be. I don't know. I don't know if that's true, but it could be. But then, before we take a picture, I have that album. Remember I told you about this album, this little video album I had. I hand this album to BB, and he goes, well, like that. It's almost like he knew I was in music. It's almost like it was like a kindred spirit, because when he saw that, he really lit up. He was like, well. And he looked up, and he said, who's got that Sharpie? Like that. And I said, no, I thought he thought I wanted him to sign my album. That's what I thought he wanted. And I was going to take it with me. But I said, no, that's for you. He goes, I know who this is for. And he said, who's got that Sharpie? They bring the Sharpie back to me. He said, I want you to sign this to Mr. BB King. I signed my first album ever to BB King. And he took it. We took a picture. It still hangs on my wall. This picture is still on my office. We took a picture. We're holding the album up, took the picture, and he goes like this. He puts it in his pocket afterwards. He does this. I said, I love you. And I said, look in my eyes. I love you, BB. He goes, I love you too, son. We'll see you down the road. I never seen him again, but I thought, man, when I get a little traction, me and BB might do something together. But I like to think that BB rode with that on his bus until the day he died, right? It was just sitting there. I don't know if you ever listened. I don't know any of that. But that moment is the actual moment. His name being on my guitar is the reason I'm able to play guitar to this day. Like, it made me, I said, I got to learn how to do something now. So I started really buckling down to play this thing that BB King's on. He's on my guitar.
That's amazing.
So, and I'm still not that good, right? So BB would still be disappointed in me. But I can at least play. You know, I can at least play and write songs. I'm nowhere near as good as CJ, and that's why I keep him with me. But it's the only reason. I don't care about him at all.
Right.
I just keep him because he's good at guitar.
That's obvious.
Yeah. So anyway, that was kind of a long way to say, though getting on that high with BB kind of made me say, okay, now I'm going to start making videos, and I'm going to start being consistent with this thing. And because I had to learn guitar before I could make a video, because I was at the mercy of musicians. I couldn't just do a cappella videos. And I didn't know how to play the guitar. So I said, I can't. So then I started buckling down, learning, started posting a few videos that I would learn the chords on, and the people started liking them. And then lo and behold, this song came along called All About That Bass. You ever heard that?
Oh, yeah.
So I heard that song, and a buddy of mine, we were riding down the road, and he goes, because, you know, she's talking about all about that bass is a reference to being thick. Did you know that? You don't know that because you're tiny, right? You know, I shouldn't say tiny.
It's a reference to being thick?
Being thick, like,
yeah.
You know, that's what she's talking about.
Okay.
You know, I'm all about that bass, no treble, because she's a thick girl.
Oh, gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Meghan Trainor, or she was. She might not be now, but that's what that's in reference to.
Okay.
Talking about being a thick girl,
right?
And being proud of it,
right? I like thick girls.
Yeah, I know you. I could tell. I knew when I walked in, you kind of had that glare in your eye, like, man, if you was a girl, what's up? You know what I mean? I was like, I feel like he's undressing me right now. I'm really uncomfortable. Is this really a podcast studio?
Oh yeah.
There's a projector up here.
Oh yeah.
No, but yeah, I see the couch over there too from the 1964 or something.
It's a 1960s porn set.
Yeah, isn't that something?
It's amazing, isn't it?
I think isn't that what they did in here?
A lot of people hate on it.
Yeah, and got God and David over here on the wall.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that something? So anyway, before CJ gets excited, he's like, "Really? That's really where they did? What's her names?"
This is where they shot All About the Bass music video.
This is it. So because it's that song's about being thick, my buddy looks over, and he's a smaller guy, real small guy. He looks over and he says, "You're actually all about that bass and beard," like that. And I go, "You know what? I am thick and bearded." So I ended up writing a parody song called "All About That Beard" to that song, and we reproduced the whole track. And I went and rented a camera. Didn't know anything about really making music videos, but I wanted to experiment. So I rented this camera. It was when the Blackmagic cinema camera first came out.
Oh, yeah.
And that first came out, and I rented this camera and lens, Canon lens, whatever, and took this thing and just did the best I could. And I thought, well, I'll post this, and it probably sucks, and it does suck. To this day, it sucks, the video to me. But it literally got 2 million views in a day.
What?
2 million views in a day, yeah. My buddy and I were headed, he had an audition. At the time, I lived in Memphis. And my buddy, Brad Beal, Bill for councilman.
Beal.
Yeah. Brad Beal was, he was an actor at the time, and we were driving to Nashville for him to do an audition for some commercial. And he asked, would I go with him? I said, yeah, I'll go with you. Let's do it. And so on the way, I had posted that morning. And on the way there, he's getting a few texts saying, hey, I saw that video you were in, because he was in the video. So I saw that video you were in, hilarious, right? And we're not thinking nothing of. He's like, all right on, man, appreciate it. And he gets a few texts on the way there. And I'm not getting any texts, so my people ain't seeing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but apparently his people are all seeing it. But we didn't check the video. It wasn't in the days where I had a reason to keep going to my Facebook all the time. Like now, I'm answering every comment that comes in. I'm doing all these things all the time, making sure I stay on track, because those are my people, you know. And so I didn't even have that
on Facebook or YouTube.
Both.
Okay.
Well, at the time, like I got my start on Facebook, on my personal profile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not YouTube. I wasn't even really doing anything on YouTube or my Facebook page. It was just a personal profile at the time, and it was just like blowing up. And we didn't even know it. We were just driving. He got a few texts. He did his audition on the way back. He's still getting these texts. As he was in his audition, there was like 15 to 20 texts from people saying, hilarious video, man. That was crazy. It's crazy what's happening with this video, like that. And then he goes, dude, he said, something weird, man. He said, like, everybody that I know has seen this video. So he pulls it up as I'm driving. He goes, bro, this thing is at 1.5 million views. I said, excuse me? And I said, let me see this. And I look at it, and then Jared, this is the first thing Jared and I did. He just did, I don't want to say he did anything to the video other than he just put credits in it, because I wanted credits in it.
Yeah.
And so I had Jared put the credits in. He's a little drunk. He got pretty tore up last night.
You're still drunk, Jared? Really? Hey, hair of the dog, brother. I got some Jack Daniels right over there.
hair of the dog, Jared. No, but all he did was put credits at the end, like, you know, rolling credits. And
he didn't shoot the video for you?
No,
Okay.
Couldn't afford him. And plus, I was trying to learn.
He's union.
Yeah, he's union only union. No, I was trying to learn how to do it myself anyway. So it was kind of an experimental thing. And anyway, by the end of the day, it had 2 million views, and I thought, now I really am famous, right? I was getting calls to do radio interviews and stuff like that in England and everywhere all over the world. I was like, this is nuts. Megan Trainor is fixing to call me, and we're going to be doing a song together. That never happened. I don't know if she ever saw the video to this day. And now it has, I don't know how many. It's got a lot of views on Facebook. If you combine everything, and on YouTube and everywhere, it's pretty good. But so at that point, I'm thinking, now I got to ride this wave.
Yeah.
So I'm posting consistently at this point. And then, but the other videos ain't getting 2 million views. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're not doing it like that one did.
Yeah, that's the worst, right? When you're like, damn, you hit so high on one, and then like keep doing stuff, and you're like, fuck, why can't I do that again?
Right. And that's the conundrum, right? That's the problem, is people think that, as soon as you get 2 million views, everything you post is about to be that. It's not the case. It's all because social media is fickle. Mm-hmm. The algorithm's fickle. It's like you, which I didn't know this at the time. You got to post at the right time. You can't put too many letters on your images on Facebook. You know, there's a lot that goes into it. Like these algorithms is the greatest enemy of an independent artist or independent anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm being consistent, and then I'm not. So then 3 weeks go by, and I didn't post a video, didn't post a song. And so I'm thinking, shoot, man, I said I'd be consistent. And here I am letting BB down, you know. And even though I didn't know BB, but I felt like I did. Here I am letting BB down, and so
You felt accountable to, like, you held accountable. By
yeah, it was kind of like God's way of saying BB's going to hold you accountable, and so at 3 o'clock in the morning, 3 weeks of shadowing the fans. I say fans. I did have some fans at this time. There was definitely people commenting, and I answered every comment at that point, and even up until like just a few years ago, every single comment was I answered. Like, it don't matter how many came in, I answered them. Now they're coming in on every video, and I don't even get notifications for these other videos, so I can't answer every comment anymore. But because if they don't notify me, I don't even know if they commented. So, but anyway, I still get most of the comments on the new videos. So 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm sitting there. I'm like, I hadn't posted in a while. I don't have nothing, because when I would learn a song, it would take me a while to learn the song because I'm not a guitar player. I would sit there to go over and over and over. And at the time, there was no teleprompters. There was nothing like that. No kind of apps you could use really that would help you with lyrics even. So you just had to learn the song. You had to learn the lyrics and how to play it. And for me, that was real hard to do, like just to be able to memorize all the lyrics. Okay, I got it. You're talking about 3 or 4 takes, and then by the time you get done with 10 takes, your voice is shot, and you can't even make the video. So it was not the easiest thing to do if you don't already know all the words. Like if a new song comes out and you're trying to learn it real quick back then. Now, if the new song comes out, you can pull up the lyrics and put it on a little teleprompter thing that goes in front of your camera,
right?
And you can look dead in the camera and nobody even knows, right? And then you're playing. All you got to focus on at that point is just the chords, which is still a struggle for me. I might miss a chord. I missed many last night. But I said 3 o'clock in the morning. It's still on my personal profile on my Facebook, and I said I hadn't posted a video in a while. I hope y'all like this version of Ice Ice Baby that I did acoustic. It was literally like that, a throwaway video. And the next morning, this thing had went wild. I mean, it went nuts. World Star Hip Hop took it and posted it on their pages and their website. Bam Margera posted on his page and website and stuff. And this thing it got legs that never stopped. And then my Facebook page started blowing up. Like, people started liking it out of this world. YouTube, same thing. And this thing, like, my whole real actual career in music began at that moment with that cover. That was a throwaway. It was just a throwaway video, and it still to this day, if you combine every person that actually took the video, stole the video from mine, and then posted on their own platforms, you're talking 200 plus million views maybe.
Wow.
Altogether. And there's several even on my page, because I've posted it a couple of times too. And there's several on my page that have 30 plus million on just my own page of that one song.
That's nuts. Can you monetize those videos when you do covers like that?
Yeah.
Really?
On YouTube.
You can?
You can't. Well, you can on Facebook now too, but.
So YouTube lets you monetize those even though you're doing a cover?
Well, the difference is I'm recreating it.
Right.
I'm playing it.
Okay.
It's me playing it. I own that sound recording.
Okay.
So I make money on the sound recording. They still get their money.
But you don't have, like, aren't you using, like, their acapella or their instrumentals?
No.
Okay.
I'm playing my own guitar.
You're completely recreating it.
Well, especially with Ice Ice Baby.
Right.
That's all me.
Okay. I got it.
But even if I was just playing their exact chords, it's still me playing it. I'm not using an instrumental
Isn't there
track.
a term for that? Like interpolate or interpolation or something like that?
I don't know. You're smart. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a tow truck driver. You said it yourself, right?
Yeah, I guess you're right. You're right. Even if you are playing, just copying the chords and recreating it yourself, I guess they can't.
If you recreate a track,
yeah,
you own that track you created.
Okay.
Like, that's your sound recording.
Okay.
Now, what happens with YouTube is you get money for the sound recording part. They still claim their money for the song rights.
Right. Okay.
They still get part. Like, they still have claims on my channel. But they can't. They can. They could say, we want you to take that down. They could do that if they wanted to. But why would they? They make money. Mm-hmm. You got a video, Ice Ice Baby, getting 100 million views, and we're monetizing stuff like that. They want that to happen, because it's not just doing that. It's helping with album sales and things like that.
Right.
Record labels actually reach out to me all the time now, and when they got a new artist and they'll say, you want to cover this artist's song? This song ain't out yet. We want to get people. I'm like, no, I don't want to cover his song. Why would I cover that? I was like, the only reason I cover songs is so people hear my originals. And I like if I'm gonna cover a song, it's got to have some weight to it. Mm-hmm. Or else, what's the point?
Right.
You know what I mean? Or it's just a song that I love. Mm-hmm. Right. If there's songs that I do that just mean something to me, that's other people's songs. But I'm not just out here trying to cover some random song, you know. Because the goal is, as an independent artist, that's my vehicle to get people to hopefully check out the originals.
Right.
That's all that is. So, lo and behold, I'm getting all these messages from people because of this Ice Ice Baby video. And I'm still a tow truck driver, as you said. Right. At this time, I'm a tow truck driver. You feel like you know me my whole life. So, these people are messaging me and they're saying, I'm best friends with Vanilla Ice. Give me your phone number, and I'll have him reach out. And I'm going, yeah, right. But I'm a tow truck driver, right? So they can get my number anyway. Glen Ray's Towing. It's available everywhere. And so I gave it to all these people. There was probably, I don't know, probably 10 to 15 people said this, and I gave them my phone number. And it so happened that one of them wasn't lying. One of them really was his best friend from way back before he was famous in Dallas. You know, he was his best friend. And so I get this call randomly. I don't know how many months. It was months after this video had come out. And I'm horrible with time frames. I get this call and I go, Glen Ray's Towing, you know, like normal. It's a phone call. And he goes, hey, Marty Ray, like that. And I said, what's up? Like Glen Ray's Towing.
You knew who it was?
No, I didn't know who it was. I'm saying I thought it was just a customer, like normal.
Okay.
And he says, man, I love that Ice Ice Baby you did. That's nice, man. I said, appreciate that. How can I help you? You know what I mean? And he was like, hey, it's Rob. It's Rob, man. I go, right on, man. How can I help you? You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. I hate to say this. You know, I hope Rob doesn't get offended, but I really didn't know his name was Rob at the time.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, okay, it's just a customer that somehow found out that I did this song. And I'm like, I got your car? Do I have your car impounded? Like, what is it? Like, how can I help you? Like, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it. How can I help you? And he goes, it's Vanilla Ice. I said, yeah, right, man. Like, of course anybody would. You, as a boy growing up singing, all right, stop, collaborate, and listen. We're all singing that growing up. Well, maybe not you because you like Hank 3.
Yeah.
But you were probably singing Green Day.
Yeah. I had the first Green Day album.
Boom. Hit me with it.
The Dookie.
Hit me with it.
I can't sing it, bro. I'm not singing it.
Sing some. What's on Dookie? Is it
It's like, do you have the time? That one.
Yeah.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
What's the biggest song from that? Was it that one?
That was the biggest one. Yeah.
Basket Case.
It was called Basket Case. Yeah.
Did they? Now I didn't listen to them back then, but I did like the Holiday album.
That's pretty new.
That was it. Yeah, I stopped listening to them after like the first 3 albums, I think.
You're one of them punk purists, aren't you?
No, not at all. No, not at all.
There's a lot of people that are punk fans.
It's like, I listen to the old stuff.
No, they say Green Day. They say I'm a fan of punk, and I go, oh, Green Day. They go, Green Day. They're pop punk.
Yeah, they
are
like, pop punk.
And I'm like, my bad, bro. Another turning point, a board stuck in the road. Was that on Dookie?
No, that's a newer one, right?
That was the next album after Dookie. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
You hear how bad my voice is freaking destroyed.
Yeah, I was like 10 years old or something when Dookie came out. I was like super
How old
young.
are you?
I'm 33.
How old do you think I am?
Easy. No, I'm kidding.
No,
35.
You're lying.
35.
You did not think that.
I'm guessing you're 35.
But he's trying to be nice because you said easy.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
Tell him how old you really think
How
he
old
is.
you really think I am?
Like, give him the
You
real
won't hurt
number.
my feelings.
40?
Oh, well, I'm 38, but most people think I'm like in my mid-40s.
I was pretty close.
Late 40s.
Between 35
you were
and
pretty
40.
close. That's why I thought that you were lying. But anyway.
I know. I'm used to, like, I look really young for my age, so I'm used to people
You do.
like, being my age that look way older than me.
Uh-huh.
So I kind of like shoot up a little bit when I guess people's ages.
I thought you were on the cusp of 30.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, yeah. But you look like you've been in a dive bar or two, though. You know what I mean? like a rode hard and put up wet type late 20s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's like, yeah. Is this
I was worried like when I was younger, I always looked like super like too young. Like I was got like I always looked. I was in my 20s. Everyone's like, you're like 12. And I was like, fuck, when I hit 30, I'm just going to like fall off a cliff. And I'm not going to be able to enjoy it in like where it matters, like in the 30s and 40s. I'm like, when I hit 30, I would suck so bad if I just all of a sudden started looking super old, like went bald.
Yeah. What you got against bald people?
Nothing.
Good.
Are you bald?
100%.
Let's see it.
You'll see this.
Bald is beautiful. Ooh. That's awesome. Keep the hat off.
I'm going to get me a tattoo like Boziak.
He's got the Illuminati
That's
triangle.
what I told him. You know, he was on my podcast.
Was he really?
Yeah. He was on my podcast. Just recently, we just released that episode.
He's an interesting fella, isn't he?
Very interesting.
He's all into every conspiracy theory you've ever heard of.
Oh, wow.
We didn't get into conspiracy theories.
No?
He's into it.
Oh, man. We had a crazy talk last week about conspiracy theories for like 2 hours straight.
I literally told him, I said, now, when did you join the Illuminati? And because I said, now put your head down, and he's got this big pyramid and the all-seeing eye on there, like on top of his head. And I'm sitting there. He don't go into conspiracy. I wish he would have went in conspiracy theories. I didn't know. I thought he was just a guy who's embracing the whole.
Oh man, he's all full into like lizard people and everything.
Yeah, Joe Rogan.
Shapeshifters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's listened. Like I think consumes probably way too much content. Like on YouTube, he's one of those guys who probably sits on YouTube and just goes down rabbit holes for hours and hours.
Well, YouTube has now, but you used to could do that with conspiracy theories and stuff a lot. Like you could really be on there for days, and like you just sitting there. Oh wow! And then you somebody comes in like, "Hey, you okay? We thought we were worried about you." And you're like, what? What? I've only been watching for 3 days.
Did you know Elvis was a shapeshifter?
And he's still alive?
Right.
Did you know Elvis is the groundskeeper at Graceland?
Now he's an interdimensional child molester.
Oh, dang. Poor Elvis, man. I'm about to take that Elvis song I just did down, apparently.
No, I just made that up.
I know. I know. Of course you made that up. John Boziak, my homie. I like him, though. He's a really cool fella.
Yeah.
He was in your studio.
Yeah, I did. He's been in. He just did his second podcast here last week.
Really?
Yeah.
Did 2.
He's done 2 with us. Yeah.
Nice. So the second one was all about conspiracy theories.
The second one was all about conspiracy. The first one, he just told a story about his credit card fraud and his whole life and in and out of prison or whatever. And he's wild.
He is wild.
He's a wild motherfucker.
Yeah, man. That's crazy. You know what he said on our show? He said, I said, do you ever feel bad about stealing all this money? Like, you know, these people you fraudulently took money from? And he goes, well, he said, yeah, I didn't steal no money from them. I ain't taking no money from them. I was like, who you taking the money from then? You know what I mean? You're taking the money that's coming out of their bank.
Right.
You know? Now, of course,
the bank gives it back to them.
They get it back, right? But it's heavily an inconvenience.
Oh, yeah.
When you go and you're like
wasting a lot of people's time.
Yeah, you're swiping your card and it's like decline, and you're like, decline? Everybody's looking at you. Have you ever had a card decline that shouldn't have declined?
Oh, yeah.
And you're sitting there and you feel like, listen, you're looking at the people in the line. You're like, I promise you that I am not broke. Like, I promise you this.
Right.
And then they're like, yeah, okay.
Ego gets involved in, you're like, listen,
Yeah.
I know what this looks like.
And you're telling everybody there, you're like, hey, listen, everybody, I am not broke.
Right.
I had this. You're pulling up your bank account. Like, I'm going to show you this.
People in the back, like,
you know, a good way.
Card.
You know, a good way to circumvent that from happening and being embarrassed about it is just before you give them the card, be like, I hope that one works. I hope that one works.
I used to say that.
Yeah.
I used to say that all the time. Yeah, man, I hope this works. And then I would go. Let's see which one of these ain't maxed out. And I would go through these credit cards, and these people are like, I'm like, try this one. You know,
that even works. It works with fake IDs too. Like before I was old enough to drink, whenever I go to a bar and they'd ask for my ID, I'm like, I got my fake one. And it really was the fake one. And they would like psych them out. You know what I mean? They'd be like, oh, ha, 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 you're funny.
Did that work?
Yeah. Worked great.
Son of a gun.
It's amazing what works, Matt.
You are a little mind genius, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I'm pretty stupid. I just copy what I hear from other people.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You're
I don't come up with the stuff on my own. I just reuse other people's great ideas.
You're a chameleon.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. I like that.
Shapeshifter.
Has your voice always been that deep and like, or is that just because have you just like developed that from singing so much?
I don't know. I think my voice is always kind of lower toned it when I speak, isn't it?
It is lower tone, but today it's like extra rasp.
Does all that, like
Yeah.
the amount of all the singing you do and all the shows you do, does that take a toll on your vocal cords?
Of course.
Like,
when
is
you
it-
sing like me, it definitely does.
Not just like the next day, but I mean like over time.
I don't know. It hasn't taken it over time for me.
Because one thing I noticed was Miley Cyrus, her voice. Have you heard her talk normally?
Yeah, it's really, but I think
She has a crazy like deep voice.
yeah, it's
Like a
like
heavy,
this right here.
like a
It's
heavy
very-
deep
yeah.
voice.
I think that's just the way her voice
Well,
is.
like early days, Hannah Montana, her voice was nothing like that.
Well, I think that was before puberty, though.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
I
even
mean,
even back then, which I know you're a big fan of Hannah Montana, I'm
Yeah.
not. I don't know nothing really about it, but I've seen a few clips, and her voice was still deep for a child, though. I think, wasn't it?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean,
Go back to your DVD sets.
Yeah, I have to go back to the
Yeah,
DVD
and
sets,
pull those
yeah.
up. And did you meet? You should get Hannah Montana on this show.
That would be amazing. She lives in Nashville, doesn't she?
Does she?
I think so.
I think everybody that
Moving there.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure she's in Nashville.
Yeah, she probably is. Everybody seems to be moving there now.
it's
Well,
the climb.
all the big country singers came from Nashville, right? Like that's the hub of country, isn't it?
A lot of big ones did, but not all of them. There's some Willie Nelson
Well, Nashville's like the music fucking
City.
city of the United States, right?
It's
That's what
the
they
music
say.
Mecca, yeah.
What they call it, Music City. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know if that's actually true, but it's sure
a lot
anymore.
of music. A lot of music comes out of
There's a
Nashville.
lot of music, not just country.
It's not always
Yeah.
great music, but there's a lot of music that comes out of Nashville.
But there's a lot of music that came out of Memphis. Like back in the day, there's a documentary about blues music, and B.B. King. There's B.B. King before he was actually famous. He finally got a gig on Beale Street in Memphis, and he was standing on Beale Street doing this old footage, and he goes, "I finally made it." He said, "All we ever want to do in blues music is play right here on Beale Street, and here I am playing." And he thought he had made it at that point, and he had.
Wow.
Because that was it. You play blues music, you get to Beale Street. That was because, and even Elvis, like they all wanted to be in Memphis. So I don't know when Nashville became Music City, but that's definitely not been always the case. Memphis was definitely a place for
Yeah.
blues. Like,
You know Jimmy Hart's from Memphis, Tennessee?
is he really?
He
Well, that
told-
makes sense.
He was on here. He told me the craziest fucking story about how him and his buddy was Elvis's like good friend and always went to Elvis's house, and he was making a delivery to Elvis. Jimmy wouldn't tell me all the details of what he was delivering, but
This lets me know that it's drugs.
Yeah, it was some sort of
This right
some
here.
sort of pills. But
Yeah.
Jimmy was with him, and he said it was just the fucking most insane story because like Elvis came out all fucked up, blah 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 blah, and Jimmy Hart's sitting here in Elvis's mansion in Memphis. Jimmy's got some fucking wild stories.
It was probably Red West that was his friend, because that was Elvis's best friend and bodyguard.
Red West?
Red West.
Never heard of him.
He's an actor. You ever seen Roadhouse?
No,
You never seen Roadhouse?
Roadhouse.
I don't think so.
Patrick Swayze, Dalton. He's a bouncer. It's
I don't think I've seen it.
the most masculine movie of all time.
Is it really?
Yeah. Never seen it.
I need to watch it.
You need to watch Roadhouse.
I do need to watch it. When did it come out?
80s? Late 80s?
Roadhouse.
Have you seen Roadhouse?
Next time you watch Family Guy, you're gonna be like, oh, Roadhouse.
It got him. We broke him.
Roadhouse.
He's broke.
Roadhouse.
He ran out of battery.
Roadhouse.
Okay, you're done. No.
Peter. Roadhouse.
What is this? Explain what this is.
It's just a Family Guy joke.
Yeah,
Peter,
but what's the joke?
Peter is referencing Roadhouse.
The movie?
He's jacked.
Oh, okay.
And every time they, ask him something, it's his answer. Roadhouse. He just. You seen that? You seen it, Jared? Right?
Oh, that's
it's a
hilarious.
pretty funny little whole episode thing they do. And
What do they give me one real quick? One question they ask him that he responds to the Roadhouse.
I'm just gonna totally make this up. But like, Peter, will you go to the store and get some crabs? Quagmire's coming over later, and then Peter's like, Roadhouse.
That's pretty
I'm
great.
gonna start doing that.
That's pretty fucking great.
Yeah.
When you see the
Anyway,
episode, it's great.
You should watch Roadhouse.
I will watch
It
Roadhouse.
really is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I'm gonna watch it this weekend.
Look for the part where he goes like this right here. You know what I mean? Just keep this in mind.
Okay. What's he do? What's he do?
No, I'm not telling you. You just keep.
Okay.
You just remember I did this to you. I did this. You almost died. Remember that.
Okay.
This is near death. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Jared,
Roadhouse.
have you seen Roadhouse? You remember this? Yeah, baby. This is crazy. This right here is crazy. I've been trying to do this ever since I watched that movie.
What the fuck is it?
You're gonna find out. Hey, this guy back here knows, don't
You
you?
seen Roadhouse, Austin?
Austin.
Austin's only like 22
Austin,
years
look
old.
through these computers. They got the most massive computers. You see the screens. They got like 1,000 screens. I think Austin is actually playing some video games. I think he's streaming Twitch back there. Austin, are you streaming Twitch?
Austin's got a hot new girlfriend he brought over last night.
Where
to
is
the
she?
podcast. Yeah, where's your girlfriend today?
She left.
She's listen to this. Can we talk about her? She's fun. She'll let us talk about her. She's
Can you pull a picture of her up?
she's a Catholic girl.
As you're talking?
Yeah, can we get a picture so I can show it to him? She's a Catholic girl. She went to Catholic school and she met Pope Francis. So you know she's
Wow.
wild.
That's funny.
Could be.
She's wild. We went to dinner last night and Austin ordered a Sprite. She ordered a beer.
Austin.
I like her.
My man, I like Sprite. I'm a Sprite guy too.
She was partying with us and Austin was drinking Sprite, eating salads.
Austin, you got that picture?
Yeah.
We're literally waiting.
Yeah, we want to see a picture.
The show
of
will not go on until we see
What's
a
her
picture
name
of your
again?
girlfriend.
Marissa.
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 She's awesome.
Man, one of the prettiest actors is named Marissa. Marissa Tomei.
Marissa Tomei.
Yeah.
What movie is she in?
You see My Cousin Vinny?
No.
Son of a gun, does this kid, do you watch movies?
I watched some movies, yeah.
My Cousin Vinny, Joe Pesci. One of the greatest movies of all time.
I'm
You
fuck-
got a busy weekend ahead of you.
yeah,
Yeah, you got some homework to do.
Fuck, I got a lot of homework to do.
The second time I'm on this podcast, whenever that is, if it ever happens, I want you to have a report of these movies.
Okay.
I'm
Roadhouse.
gonna give you a list.
My Cousin
Roadhouse,
Vinny.
My Cousin Vinny. What was Marissa Tomei was
Titanic.
no.
Oh.
What was a recent movie she was in, Jared? No.
Austin, where's the
Pull
picture?
it up on your IMDb
Oh.
while we're talking.
Here she is.
Let's see. Okay. Okay, and he,
Nice little Southern belle.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Marty, you're looking
Little-
for a long
little
time.
Catholic Southern belle.
I was looking into her eyes. I swear, I really was. I really was. I was, babe. I was.
We're gonna
camera, man?
she's gonna get the Pope. She's gonna get Pope Francis in here hopefully soon.
Yeah, I'm sure. That would blow up. That would blow up.
That would blow up.
Yeah. Please ask him some real questions if you do.
I'll get you in here as a guest.
Please.
We'll get you to be the guest
you will.
host.
You will not.
Marty Ray and the
Anytime
Pope.
you want me to guest host, just let me know,
Okay.
and we'll make it happen. We'll drink
yeah.
Liquid Death and be metal, man. Yeah.
You don't like metal music? Really?
There's only one music. It depends on what. I don't know what people call metal. What is metal?
Death metal.
Death metal, definitely not. But I think AC/DC was called metal too, weren't they?
What about Metallica?
It's classic rock.
I like
these days.
a few Metallica songs, but when you here's the problem with certain metal people and punk people, is they say you like metal, bro. I'm like, man, I like Metallica. Like, it's not metal. They used to be metal, and I'm like, they're like, you ever heard "Death of 1,000 Stars" by Metallica? And I'm like, no, but I've heard "Inner Sandman," and they go, of course. And I'm like, man. What do you want?
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm the biggest.
They're
You
metal.
got chills, didn't you?
I got chills.
They're metal elitists.
Right.
My favorite, if it's a metal song, it don't sound like a metal song, but there's so many different kinds of metal now because there's like other subgenres of
Yeah,
metal,
there's so
death
many.
metal, and
Yeah.
then some like pop metal and I don't know, cup metal, whatever the freak. You got all these names.
Yeah.
But the best Metallica song is "So Close, No Matter How Far, Couldn't Be Much More from the Heart." You know that one?
Oh yeah.
Is that metal?
'Cause nothing else matters.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I close my eyes. James Hetfield's right here.
Trust
man.
I seek and I find in you. Wah! Every day for something new.
Why?
Open mind for a different view.
'Cause nothing else matters.
He's country.
Dude, that's
he does
awesome.
like Hank the Third.
What about what about Creed?
Oh,
I did like Creed.
Can you do a
That's not
Creed?
metal, is it?
No, hell no. Can you do a Creed cover though?
What was with arms wide open under the sunlight.
Yeah.
I'm welcome to this place. I'll show you everything with arms wide open under the candlelight. Inside the curtains on an old porn couch with arms wide open. I don't remember the words.
There you go.
And then there was that's with a horrible
That was
voice.
fucking beautiful.
Let me tell you, I could really nail that impression if my voice wasn't destroyed, because I sang that a lot
That was pretty damn close.
back in the day. What's another one of Creed's?
Can you take me?
Yeah.
Yeah, or the
To a place where blind men see. Yeah, I told you I brought my guitar player.
That was great.
That's really how he does.
Really?
Yeah, he don't actually play guitar.
He plays it
does-
with his lips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play a little something so they believe me. Keep it going. I don't know how you happen. I don't know why you can't understand. What the frick happened to the guitar, bro?
Goodbye.
Golly, you see- You lost your money. No, it's over. You lost your gig. You're not getting paid now.
On my guitar sounds calypso
No, he was like, "Bam, bam, 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 bam," and then I started singing. It was gone.
because it's just a kick drum there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
I
in the,
apologize.
He was doing the beat.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Hey, no, it's okay.
you got your
next
your job
time.
back.
Next time I
I
know.
forgot where I was in my story, if it even matters. But
metal.
whatever.
We're talking about
Yeah,
metal.
we're talking about metal. Yeah, metal.
we were talking about metal. My stint. in metal.
Metallica. Metallica's metal.
Yeah.
Maybe not the new Metallica, but the old Metallica's definitely metal.
Right. When you put the orchestra in, same thing with Creed, like on with the arms wide open, you're
Yeah.
like, oh man, this guitar solo is going to be great. And then it's like, then they bring in the orchestra. You're like, oh,
Creed
that-
had an orchestra?
on that song, yeah. Big old symphony type. And the same thing with Metallica. You know, they did the No Leaf Clover, and they did Nothing Else Matters with an orchestra.
I didn't know that. I didn't know.
It wasn't
I
on
didn't know they
the
had an
record,
orchestra.
but they did it live, like for the MTV Grammys or MTV
Wow.
Awards
Yeah.
or something. Yeah. So I think when you put in the orchestra, the metal part,
Whatever happened to that guy, the lead singer of Metallica?
he's still
They
around.
still
Is
tour.
he still around?
James Hetfield, man, he's
Oh yeah.
He's the guy who fucked up Napster, right?
No, that was Lars.
that's the drummer. Hey
Oh, that was
guys,
Lars.
Lars
Okay, yeah.
Ulrich here.
Yeah.
Is he still with the band?
Yeah,
Of course, it's his band.
him.
It's
Kurt.
his
It's
band?
It's ultimately his band. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's
What
Lars'
do you-
band.
What do you mean by that?
Means it's his band. If anything happens, then it's because of him.
Really?
The only reason there is a Metallica is because of him.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
That's the truth.
It doesn't happen with many bands. Normally, it's the front guy,
Yeah.
like Axl Rose or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
like in some bands, you know, like Fall Out Boy, the bass player Pete, you know, the singer don't say much when they do interviews.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Pete's like this is.
I'm not
my
a big
band.
Fallout Boy fan, but anyway.
The battery right there.
Pete is the Lars Ulrich of.
Oh, we're running over their time here.
Uh oh.
No, we're not. You guys got a time limit?
No, I thought I thought y'all might.
Oh no, he should. Austin, it's down there on the on the outlet on the wall. See the little black thing?
Hey, y'all got a bed for Jared?
A bed? Yeah, lay on the
Jared,
couch.
you want to lay on this couch?
Jared, lay on the couch, man. It's comfy. I promise no one's had sex on that in this week.
But wait till Austin brings his girlfriend back.
We got all the cum off the couch. It's clean.
Yeah, they cleaned it.
There's still a looks like some kind of apparatus to subdue or something there. It's like one of those zip ties. It's just cut. So
Oh fuck,
is
Austin!
it?
Austin, you're supposed to get rid of that.
He slipped up on it.
put it lift the zip
Austin,
tie
what have
there.
you done? What have you and Sally been doing in here?
You're gonna get us canceled.
What's his name? What's her name? Sally?
Who? His
What was it?
girlfriend, Marissa.
Marissa
Yeah.
Tomei.
Yeah, where's Marissa?
Oh,
Spider-Man Far From Home.
Spider-Man, Far From Home. She's
Aunt May.
Aunt May.
What?
Spider-Man,
I've
Far
watched
From
it
Home.
either.
The movie.
Yeah. What about it?
Marissa Tomei
Oh, that's the actress you were talking
is
about. Oh, okay.
is Tom Holland's
Oh, yeah.
Aunt May.
She's hot.
That's right. Now watch My Cousin Vinny.
She won the Oscar for My Cousin Vinny.
I know.
Really?
Yeah.
When did My Cousin Minnie come out?
90s,
1990.
Okay.
1990. One of the best movies, man. One of the best movies.
Okay. All right,
I
I'm
gave
gonna
you
watch
two
both those.
dynamite movies.
All right.
And
All right.
Austin,
Yeah.
look through them computer screens. You too. Okay, buddy?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Report back. You watch it with your girlfriend.
You and Marissa, you're going to watch it this Marissa?
You and Marissa. If you watch Roadhouse with Marissa, it does have a scene where Patrick Swayze shows his hind parts, and you might lose her. I'm just saying, if you can't compete, because he is real sexy in that movie. Is he not?
Yeah, he was.
That man's sexy. You know what I mean?
Patrick Swayze.
You know who Patrick Swayze is?
I know who Patrick Swayze is, yeah.
Yes, sir. Patrick Swayze coming in hot,
And he can dance.
and he can fight. It's a real good movie, man. He comes in. He's the cooler. You know what a cooler is in a bar?
No, what's a cooler?
The cooler is somebody who comes in. They're supposed to keep the peace. They're the lead of the bouncer, whatever. All the bouncers, they're the head. Where these bouncers might be like, "I'm gonna kill you inside this." He's like, "No." The cooler's like, "No." He's always like, "Take it outside." If they want to fight, don't fight. If they hit you, whatever. All these things. He says all these things. He says, "Get it out, take it out, make sure it's outside."
Yeah.
Get them outside. He don't want to fight, but he can. And when he
Okay.
does, it's lethal.
He's
Really?
bad dude.
It's lethal.
Bad dude.
Yeah. The claw. There you go.
Oh, shit.
You
Okay.
got it. You
Does that
got
do
it.
some kind of like jugular thing with the claw? Or
Now
something?
you're feeling it.
Okay.
Now you're feeling it.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, watch that. And yeah. What was I saying about myself?
Metal. You're
Metal.
talking About the metal. You
I'm a metal artist.
You don't like metal. You're not a fan of metal.
Well,
are you,
like
are you
I
a fan
said,
of hip hop?
I do like. I grew up listening. So I grew up listening to gospel, like black gospel. Mahalia Jackson. You don't know any of these people. Mahalia Jackson, Rance Allen, little Kirk Franklin, people like that. And then that morphed into R&B, Boys to Men, people like that. And then that kind of morphed into hip hop, which was Beastie Boys at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Then Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. I actually, the night before last, I was telling some people how when I did that Ice Ice Baby thing,
Yeah.
I actually had two of those old hip hop songs that just live rent free in my head. The lyrics, you never forget them. Like I have to look at lyrics. I always have my iPad at shows, and I'm looking at lyrics to make sure I don't forget them because it's the most embarrassing thing ever when you're sitting there singing and you go, play something, CJ. You know what I mean? and then so I have my lyrics all the time, so I can always reference. But with Ice Ice Baby, I never need lyrics for that song because I rap that so much in my head. Same way with Nothing But a G Thing, right? So it was one of those two songs I was going to do. And I just recently, years later, just now posted the Nothing But a G Thing version of those two songs. But it was like 1, 2, 3, into the 4. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the door. Ready to make an entrance, so back on up. You know we're about to wrap this up. Give me the microphone first so I can bust like a bubble. Compton and Long Beach together, now you know you in trouble. 'Cause ain't nothing but a G thing, baby. Too low out G's going crazy. It's like this and like that and like this and it's like that and like this and like that and it's like this and we ain't got no love for those. So just chill to the next episode. You see what I'm saying?
God damn.
So I was doing a picking thing with that, and then I was also doing the more Hawaiian type thing with the Ice Ice Baby, and I just so happened to choose the Ice Ice Baby and do that. So, but at this group that we first came in, we just got into town and we went straight to this event at the Anderson House in Tampa or whatever, and I was telling them that story, and I played a little bit of that. And I was telling them that. So, but that kind of jogged my memory. But those lyrics, you grow up rapping that because I used to actually rap that at karaoke nights at like Shooters in Memphis. You know what I'm saying? You know what karaoke is, right?
What is it again?
Marty.
What is that? I don't know that. Karaoke.
Carrie who?
You say Patrick Swayze? I don't know. Is that where I would know Miss Marissa Tomei from?
No. Karaoke, no. So we would go to these real cowboy like country bars, my friends and I, because we were kind of like troublemakers back in the day, you know. So we were always looking. If it was like CJ said, that was actually true back then. I was actually a troublemaker, you know, back in those days. So it was like when I forgot it was something to do with my best friend's little sister, because their little sister was in the same grade as him. Something happened, and I don't even remember, but he tells it like, I think that's what you told me, right?
Yeah, it was essentially a birthday party, and somebody had told one of the girls that either me or my buddy had said something derogatory about the girls, and we didn't. We were just happy to be there, like meeting new people and hanging out. And we knew them, but there was other people there like Marty and Randall and the upperclassmen, you know. So we were excited. But yeah, Marty and Randall and them crushed that. No, I'm kidding.
They crushed that excitement.
Yeah. No, it wasn't even a big deal. You know, we got out of there fast. Like I said, I can run faster scared than most people can mad. So
we got out of there quick. It wasn't that big a deal.
Yeah, we got out.
We had to run down the street, call our mothers. It wasn't that big a deal. Yeah.
My 89 Ford Festiva peeling out one tire. Yeah, it would do 75 miles an hour if you turn the air conditioner off.
I still don't remember that. I remember that party, but I don't remember you being at that party at all. But I remember that party. It was in the garage.
Yeah.
Right?
It could have been anybody, I think. Like, it could have been.
It really could have been at that point.
It wasn't I didn't take it personal.
But we've done that a lot. Like Ronnie and Randall and me, a lot of times we would find people that had either said something wrong to her or whatever.
Yeah.
And not to incriminate myself, we would beat them up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
teach them a
how
lesson.
dare you? You know, it was horrible.
How dare you?
How dare you talk to her like that? But I'm not saying that's the way
You
you
were
should
just
handle
looking
it.
for reasons to beat the shit out of people.
We really were,
Yeah.
and that's horrible. It's a horrible way. I'm ashamed of that in my later years, but that was the case back then. So I say that, I preface it to let you know that when we went to this country place, this country bar, it was all. You know, if you got up to do karaoke, it was country music, like old school country music, like a family tradition. Get on me, want to know, hang on, why do you drink?
To get drunk.
Hang, why do you roll smoke?
To get high.
Oh, why must you live out the song that you wrote?
To get paid.
Over and over. Everybody made my prediction. If I get stoned and sing all night long, it's a family tradition. So like they want to hear this, right? They want to hear all this. So then I get up. I got to tell the guy, I'm like, y'all got nothing but a G thing? He goes, really? I said, yeah, nothing but a G thing. And I'm not talking about 1, 2, 3 into the 4. I'm talking about bang. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, 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 bang. You know what I mean?
Hell
like
yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. So then that starts playing. Everybody's like, "Look at there's this white dude up here," and like now what we about? Like they're a little edgy.
Yeah.
But we knew that's what was our intention,
Right.
because we
Okay.
were idiots. So we really were just idiots. So he's like, let's see what kind of ruckus we can cause. And then, so he gets up there, and then I go 1, 2, 3 into the 4. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the door, ready to make an entrance. So back on up, cause you know we're about to wrap this up. Give me the microphone first, so I can bust like a bubble. Compton and Long Beach together, now you know you in trouble. Ain't nothing but a G thing, baby. 2 loped out G's going crazy. Death Row is the label that pays me. Unfadable, so please don't try to fade me. So then. I'm doing this, and I'm singing the whole thing. Next thing I know, we're watching these people, and Ronnie and Randall are back there. They're back there in the back going, you know, because it's like the intent is to cause a ruckus.
Yeah.
And then you start seeing these cowboys go, you know, and the next thing you know, they're up dancing, and they're all doing it. They got their hats
Fucking
on,
great.
and then they're doing this, and I was like, now this ain't going the way we are, but this is cool right here.
Right,
You know, this is cool, man.
That's
so they wanted me to
fucking
come back all the time at this place, and ended up making friends where it was like it was a moment where the reason I was, to be honest with you, my dad, when I was growing up, my brother, and you got siblings?
Yeah.
You got a brother?
I have a step brother and a half sister.
Did you fight with your stepbrother?
Yeah.
Like fist fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, not like a real fist fight. We never got into like a legitimate fight, but we got into a lot of fights where there was like wrestling.
Yeah, a lot
like,
of scuffling.
A lot of scuffling.
Well, me and my brother, we got in fist fights, like legit fist fights. And my dad, this is where this stems from. See, my dad, instead of saying, "Did you ever get in fights with your brothers?"
It wasn't more scuffles.
Yeah. What did your dad say to you? What was their advice to you?
I mean, I have a younger brother, so when in times where we would get to scuffling around, he'd be like, go outside, and we would wrestle it out, and then as the big brother, you're trying not to hurt your little brother, but you just want to show him who's boss. Let him know, hey, that ain't cool. Marty's dad was like, well, he gave y'all gloves.
Yeah,
right? Y'all put on the boxing gloves.
Yeah, he literally said, yeah, y'all okay, y'all gonna fight? Put on these boxing gloves.
That's what my dad was like.
Yeah, you want to fight? Do this. So we're boxing. We're literally in there. That's how we think. This is how you handle your problems. Like when me and my brother would get to arguing, we'd be like, get them gloves, get them freaking gloves. Like, pow, pow, pow. We're just doing it. This turned into a thing where we would box kids from school in our front yard. Like it would be like events. Like my brother was very good. He was very
really
like he became an actual very talented actual boxer. He could have done it at one point because he was actually very skilled. I was just wild. Like when we would box, he was always like standing back. He was taller than me. He's like 6'2".
Yeah,
and he would always stand back and he'd try to be scientific. And I'm like a bull, like and then eventually I'd tackle him and try to take him down because I was bigger in size, but not taller.
Right.
So then I could, because he would be popping me as I'm coming in, like pop, pop, like that. And I'm like, I'm like getting mad, like, I'm getting mad. So then I just tackle him. And I'm the MMA at this point.
Yeah.
And then I'm winning because I'm heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a heavy boy.
Stay down.
Yeah, you can't tell it. I hide it well.
Yeah.
But I'm a heavy guy.
Yeah, you can seal it well.
Yeah, I do. Thank you. Conceal it. I like that. That's one of them. That's one of them rich boy words.
Rich boy words.
Yeah.
Like
Conceal.
a pistol.
Yeah. No. So I think as a child, it might not affect everybody because it was kind of the same with him and you, right? But to me, because of the way my dad reacted to that, I was thinking, that's just how you handle problems, right? You fight. If you got a problem, you just fight it out. And it was years later, I was like, that ain't how you handle problems, man.
Right.
That's dumb. But anyway, we made friends that night at Shooters instead of enemies, where we thought we was going to make enemies. It just it really stemmed from boredom.
Yeah.
That type of thing. Just being stupid kids and being bored. We had fake IDs just like you. We weren't even supposed to be in there. We were underage at that time.
Really?
Yeah, we had fake IDs too. To this day, I still mess up my social security number because we had fake
socias.
We had fake, yeah. I might be a little bit like John Bosiak. I'm more like him than I thought. But all I did was change the last number, so I would always remember my fake one.
Yeah.
To this day, sometimes I mess up my real one.
That's hilarious.
And I have to ask my wife. I say, "What is my social? Is it a 2 or a 3 at the end?"
What's the whole thing, though?
Yeah.
What's the whole thing?
Hey, I got LifeLock.
At least she's got it. At least she has the.
She knows it.
She got the social.
She knows it. So, anyway, Roadhouse.
We should pipe some music in here, and you should do. We should cover it as long as we don't get copyright striked. Like pull it, like play it through
That's
the
a
headphones.
good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea.
What song should we do?
I need to figure out how to whitelist your channel before you post it. When are you posting this?
I'll post it like next week, or I can wait if it takes you longer.
Let me. I'll give you my number when we leave here, and
Okay.
you can text me kind of your time frame. I'm going to get on the horn and try to whitelist. We got this song. I really would love for you to play this song. CJ, there was a tornado that came through Nashville
Okay.
last year,
Last
and this tornado destroyed his house and his cars and
What?
everything. He's inside the
lucky.
house, and his family's in a closet, and he's holding the door shut, right? And this tornado is taking the roof off his house. What? Yeah, and then we're all over there. Everybody's over there the next day. Like we're trying to help him get his whatever stuff remains. We're trying to help him get it to a storage shed. And it's just pandemonium over there. Traffic's back there. Everybody's trying to get their stuff out of their house. The cops are like, you got to have ID to get in this neighborhood. All this type of stuff. It's just wild. And so as I'm driving back home, this melody comes to me because I'm thinking about, man, what that would have been like. Like, I ain't never lived through no storm like that, but sitting there worried about my family, and this thing's literally ripping the roof off and stuff, and I'm sitting there holding the door shut, and I'm thinking, what, man, that'd be crazy. Like, you'd never forget that. And I go, I'm just driving, I got the phone up to me going, I remember hearing all the noises, all the screams coming from the voices. Alarms went off and we all hid. My heartbeat pounding out of my rib. Look up to the sky and I pray for grace. God, please protect my family from an early grave. Looking all around at the aftermath. Holding on tight to the ones I have. So I'm doing that in my phone. And I go, man. And that just came out just like that, right? Immediately. Yeah. It was like God just put that on me because I was just thinking about, man, I wonder what. I don't know if it was the whole thing, but whatever. Was it the whole? Was that whole part that I sent you the first time?
Yeah.
I think it was like that whole first. That was the chorus. And that came to me. I sent it to him. I go, man. I said, you need to write this song with me because he's a genius of music. And he says, man, yeah, I want to. Like, now. Let's do it now. And so the next day, I went to his house. He got on the piano, and we wrote that song in that day.
Really?
It was that day, yeah.
That's wild.
It's called The Storm, and it's off my new album. My new album's not out yet, but that song's out. So I want y'all to play that.
Yeah,
and
let's
then
play it.
I want to try to, but I want to make sure that you don't get a copyright strike.
Okay. Yeah, we'll wait till we release it then.
Yeah.
What how big was the tornado?
It was
Like what was the
F3?
F3? Fuck.
It was it spanned over like 90 miles. It started in Nashville, went through East Nashville, hopped and skipped and went along the Interstate 40 and just kept going to east. So we had people 15 miles away from our house that had our pictures from our house, like pictures that were in our shed of my wife when she was a kid, and they're like, does anybody know these people on Facebook, you know? That's 15 miles like straight.
It's crazy.
You know, we got extremely lucky to make it. And
how much damage did it actually do to your house?
It took our roof off. We had a giant 2-car garage behind our house that had all our stuff in it, and that went like across the street into my neighbor's yard. The whole building just kind of picked up and spun around and then parted. We had blocks on our foundation under our house that just pulverized, exploded. What happens in a tornado is your house gets racked, and it's like this, and the pressure of the pressure that's going on is shaking your house, you know. So like all our windows broke, and a big chunk of our roof was off. We didn't really know on the inside, and she was 2 at the time. My youngest, Caitlin, said, "Mommy, raining." They were in the closet, and so the water was coming in like the rain. So we got them out, went into the hallway, stayed on a mattress for about 20 minutes and tried to gather up what we could. And then actually a neighbor, I met a neighbor. I went next door to check on an elderly couple, and there was a neighbor there who was a nurse, and she says, "Oh my gosh, they said you have kids. Are you guys okay? Do you need somewhere to go?" And I was like, "Let me talk to my wife." So I went inside and asked her, and you know, she agreed. We packed up a quick suitcase of what we could, pajamas and whatever, and we walk out the front door, and the girl, her name is Joanna Smith, the girl that I saw at the neighbor's house knew my wife. They had swimming lessons. Our kids took swimming lessons from the same place, and we didn't know it. We just moved into this house, like at Christmas, so we didn't know any of our neighbors. It was so wild, and now we know all of our neighbors. Now we're all tight.
It's amazing,
you know?
what a fucking catastrophe like that will bring people together, huh?
It's incredible.
Yeah. And not to mention, he had an old 70s house or something like that, right?
Our house was built in 1969.
69.
Which is probably a big reason why we made it. You know, they don't build houses like they used to, unless you really, really watch and make sure they do what they're supposed to. And
I don't think that was bearing it. Like, if a tornado wants to take the house, it takes the house. It don't matter if it's built in 50s, 60s. If that tornado would have, if God wouldn't have, if God wanted that house gone, it's gone. Like, it's,
and that's the thing with tornadoes too. They're like not that big.
well, if it's an F5,
An F5. I mean,
Yeah, it's
what's the
pretty big.
biggest a tornado?
I think it's
gets?
F5.
That's
Isn't
the
Like, what's the widest it gets?
It's F5, ain't it?
well, the F5 correlates to the wind speed. So we had like
Right.
130, 140 mile winds, and I think they said that ours was 800 feet wide.
800 feet wide.
800 feet.
But
Is
that,
it-
so that's not that fucking wide. I mean,
Like
that
three-
that thing, whatever that thing takes out, I mean, is got to be, you got to be really fucking unlucky to be right in the path of that thing.
Well, I think that it's not just being in the path of it. It's also it's throwing stuff. You know,
Debris.
Oh,
there's
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
it'll pick
Cloud.
up trucks and just chunk them into your house. So it's not just hey, I'm in the path of it. It's hey, I was in the path of this cow. It threw on my house.
And the scariest part is there's no, I mean, how much of a warning did you have for the tornado?
0.
0. You had no idea.
We went to bed like any other night. My wife was in bed. It was like 12:45. She's hears something. There's a siren. She's like, "Why is there an ambulance in our neighborhood?" And then she hears it again. And then she's like, "CJ, get up." And I got up, and for some reason my shoes were there by the bed. I put my shoes on, and then our house alarm, ADS security, beep 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 beep, as red as your curtains. It wouldn't. Normally you can like hit like, okay, I'm here or whatever. It didn't do anything. It just beep 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 beep. So it was really really fast.
What was that on the alarm? Was that a tornado warning?
It said take cover now.
Really?
Oh, my God.
So that alarm company was like the go, hide, get, you know. And my
Yeah.
wife was really upset and frantic. And we grew up in Arkansas, so
Yeah.
we've
Tornado
hunkered in-
Alley.
Yeah, we've hunkered in the hallways, and I've watched a tornado, 2 miles away. Like,
Really?
it's not like it's not a big deal, but you take way more precaution than you actually have a result.
Right.
And so
When you grow up doing it too, like so much,
yeah,
like because you're always like there were so many tornado warnings in Arkansas where we grew up. All the time, every summer, you got tornado warnings, and then there's like you hear the sirens. Y'all have tornado sirens here?
I don't think I've ever heard a tornado siren.
Yeah, well they used to
we have
test them.
hurricanes here.
Yeah, they used to test the tornado sirens every Friday, and you would hear this.
Oh, that's a tornado
Yeah,
siren.
and it would this massive.
It's like the Mayday siren, like the
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the one you see in like the fucking Doomsday movies.
It's what it felt like. Yeah. So then after when you hear that thing going off, if it ain't Friday, you should test it on Friday, wouldn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, they would test it. So on Friday, you go, okay, they're just testing it. So heaven forbid a tornado come on Friday when they're you're like, no big deal. They're just testing it. But when you heard that thing growing up as a boy, you was like, okay, well, it's time. We need to really take cover. So we'd either be at the lowest room in the house, the middle room in the house.
Bathtub.
And when you do
whatever.
this so much over time, you almost become numb to it.
Yeah.
So you're like, nothing ever happens. My dad and I, we would still be watching TV in the living room with the door wide open, watching the storm outside. Not even taking cover. We'd just be like, yeah, a tornado's coming. Yeah. It ain't gonna hit here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you've done it so much, and I'm sure that's how you were.
100%. I wanted to look out the window. I'm like walking to the back. We had a back door that went on a porch, and my wife was just screaming like to get back and get away. And I mean, it was like that. I mean, I just got back to the hallway and sat down and put my back against the wall my back against the door of the closet that they were in. And I put my feet on the door frame of the bathroom across the hall. And I just held it shut, and I had a mattress over me. And it was, exactly what you would expect, the loudest sound you've ever heard in your life. And
You had your kids
You know-
with you too?
my kids and my wife were in the closet. It was a
Okay.
little 69, so little closets, little bathrooms. It was a tiny space.
Yeah.
But we got them shoved in there. I couldn't fit.
Okay.
Big boy.
Fuck, man.
But we made it. That's the craziest thing.
Yeah.
We made it. God has blessed us abundantly through this. I have a brand new house.
Brand new nice house.
I mean, it's
Sure.
like
Parents paid for it?
insurance was huge.
Really?
Huge. It's-
Isn't your payment the same though for this brand new house?
The crazy thing is that it didn't affect our mortgage. So
That's amazing.
So the house that we bought, we bought for a certain amount of money, and this house that we have now is worth a lot more than that. But our bank and everything is still the same.
That's
So
incredible.
it's
I don't hear those kind of stories very often.
Yeah,
Man, it's-
you don't.
It's really
Banks and
got-
insurance companies doing the right thing.
Yeah,
What?
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
And
yeah. That don't happen.
We fought for it. You know, my wife used to work in insurance, so she knows and she knows how to navigate this situation. And I mean, you don't know how to navigate that situation, but she had inside, you know, working in that industry, you figure out, like, she knew exactly how much we were insured for, exactly how much we were, you know, supposed to be getting.
Yeah.
When they did the foundation, the structural engineer came and inspected our foundation and found out that, you know, your house isn't okay to be built on. You know, the insurance company wants to save as much money. They want you to rebuild it just like this. It's going to be cheaper. But when the foundation's compromised, you have no choice. And then you're dealing with the city that you live in and all their zoning stuff
Right.
too. So it's been a ride. It's been a heck of a year.
You know, I was just in a church last Sunday, and the preacher was talking about Noah and the flood, and he goes, "There's life after the storm."
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I just thought about that because
It's so true.
life after the storm is better than it was before it.
It is.
Because it wasn't just, here's the thing, it wasn't just the fact that now he's got a brand new house. It also, that combined with COVID, really reset you because he was literally on the road. He was always gone. Like, I mean, always gone from his wife and children.
Yeah.
So all those things where most musicians look at it as, it's the worst, man. Like, he kind of said, man, I'm kind of thankful that now I'm actually spending more time with my family than I ever was, which that's the reason I never signed a record deal. Was because they want you to be on the road touring all the
Make their
time.
money.
Right.
Yeah, so I said, well, I'm grown now. So that's why I said, when at the beginning of the show, I said, I had family members that told me I couldn't sing, right? So circling back, that was the reason why that held me back, and that was a good thing because I already had kids when I started actually getting a little support. So when he knows he's living the life that I've always, from when I first started this thing, have always said that's what I'm going to do. I will quit music before I choose music over my family.
Right.
That won't happen.
No.
I'll work in a factory or whatever. Nothing against factory work because somebody's got to do that. You know what I mean?
That's I guess gotta fuck people up psychologically, especially from a young age, just always being on the road, just being around these fucking old people telling them what to do. You know what I mean?
I hate old people.
Yeah, me too. Especially when, I mean, it's gotta be so fucking weird when you're like a little kid. You know
I
what
don't
mean?
hate old people. I don't want to get canceled. I love old people. I have old people in my family.
You're canceled. It's too late.
It's too late. He's like, he's gonna cut it out. That's gonna be playing over and over. That's gonna be the clip. He's gonna put that as a stinger.
Yep.
Marty's saying, I hate old people.
You're gonna be right there next to Marilyn Manson. Canceled.
yeah, right there, man. I'm right up there with him.
What was I gonna say? No, we get crazy fucking hurricanes over here. Like, we had a couple years ago, one of the scariest hurricanes that I've experienced was Hurricane Irma. I don't know if you remember Hurricane Irma, but it was a Category 5. It went right up through Puerto Rico, and literally came straight up the center of Florida. And it was the strongest hurricane, like the strongest it gets, and it came right up the center. And it was like literally headed right for this town, right over this building, basically. Like,
Was that the one that they said was coming in a weird direction? That there was one that came to Florida that they said was going a different, blowing a different way than normal. Like, it was, they normally come from the East Coast, right?
they normally come from they come from like the Atlantic Ocean over by like Africa is where they form.
Yeah,
and, come
and then
all
they
the way
said
through.
there was one that was coming the opposite, coming from the West Coast area, like not only the West
No,
Coast.
this wasn't that. I don't think this was that one. But yeah, I know what you're talking. Some of them come from like
Remember
the Yucatan. No, this wasn't that one.
Yeah.
This one came from like the deep Atlantic, and it was like really, it was massive in scale, and it was also like the strongest hurricane we've had since like Andrew, which
I
took
do
it.
remember this one. This is the one that people were evacuating.
Oh, bro, it was like
Yeah.
everybody. This place was a ghost town for
Yes.
like 2 weeks.
Did you evacuate?
No, hell no. I was
Look
like
at
you
you.
guys with the
Exactly.
because I grew up here.
Right.
I've been desensitized to hurricane. Me and my friends growing up in high school, whenever hurricanes come, the bridge is all shut down. we all hop on our surfboards and paddle across the intercoastal and go over to the beach so we could go out in the ocean and surf. You know what I mean? When the waves are really big.
Wow.
But meanwhile, because this town is so full of snowbirds and people moving down here from up north, half the fucking population down here is on the highway trying to get out of Florida. And it's literally, it was like something out of a fucking
Pandemonium.
Yeah, it was insane. And we were just
You were just out there surfing.
and then at the very end, like the day before it's supposed to hit, it's like, this thing's not, I'm like, it'll calm down. It's not going to hit us. It never hits us. It always weakens when it hits land. And then it didn't. It was still a category 5 and it was coming right at us. We're like, fuck. It's probably the most scared I've ever been in a hurricane.
You were actually scared.
It was the first time I've ever been scared.
You thought you were going to die?
I thought our roof was going to blow off at the worst part. But luckily we had this like I built this poured concrete countertop in the middle of my house in my kitchen.
You got under that?
So we were like, fuck, if worst comes to worst, we could get underneath this concrete countertop. If the house blows away, this countertop's not moving. So that's the only thing we had. Luckily, it didn't rip.
Did
the
you
roof
get
off.
under it though?
No, we didn't. Almost.
It wasn't going to work
The
very
last
good for you.
second, the hurricane went off to the right. The last second went through Orlando, like an hour east of here.
Wow.
So we got lucky. But yeah, I know
hurricanes reach Orlando?
Yeah, bro.
Orlando's not by the beach.
Orlando's in the middle of the state.
I know.
Hurricanes went.
That would be more like a storm, wouldn't it? Like, because that's where tornadoes come from. Is from the, the fronts and the sometimes the hurricanes. They tropical storms, whatever. That's what causes like the storms we get. But it's not called a hurricane at that point.
Yeah.
They still call it a hurricane in Orlando.
Yeah, the hurricane. Yeah, it's a hurricane. I think the hurricane is defined by like the strength and the size of it, and it can go. The hurricanes usually they like fizzle out and die after they've been on land for hundreds of miles.
Okay.
Florida's like 200 miles wide or something like that.
Yeah.
So a hurricane go right across Florida
Right
and hit the
across
other
it.
coast and still be a hurricane.
I didn't know that. I thought that the hurricane, it was only called a hurricane when it hit land, right where it hit land. So like right on the coastal regions, that's the hurricane. Then when it gets past that, it turns into storms. That's what I thought.
No, it's
But
still a hurricane.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a weatherman. Like
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I thought you were a weatherman.
Nah, I mean, I know you said that when I came in. You said he's either a weatherman, a tow truck driver, or a lawyer. I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
And
Let's play the song. Play the song.
play the song.
Let's do it. Storm.
The Storm.
Is this it right here?
That's it.
I remember hearing all the noise, all the screams coming from the
Ooh, we
voice.
got a good video too.
Alarms went off and we all hit. My heartbeat pounding out of my ribs. I look up to the sky and I pray for grace. God, please protect my family from an early grave. Looking all around at the aftermath, holding on tight to the ones I had. Holding on tight to the ones I had. I could think about it for a long time, ponder everything that could have happened in my mind. But instead I'm looking into my baby's eyes. There's a lot of
Is this
people
actual footage
can't say that
of
tonight.
the-
Some
It
of
is.
us more
Aftermath,
than just
yeah.
a home, a couple
He and
of
I rode
common
around. I
things.
just
Some
filmed it.
nightmares came true the night when we were lost in dreams. Pray for me, cause things are not exactly how they seem.
I make my own- I make videos now, and they're a lot better than they're all about that bass.
I'm
not saying they're the best, but they're better.
All the screams coming from the voices. Alarms went off and we all hear. My heartbeat pounding out of my ribs. Look up to the sky and I pray for grace. God, please protect my family from an early grave. Looking all
Whoa.
around at the aftermath, holding on tight to the ones I had. Here we go again with another day. All these people showing love in a million ways, while all around the world they pray for self-gain. I'm on my knees, thankful for amazing grace. I just know it could have turned out very differently as I dig through all the rubble, wreckage, and debris. Pray for me, cause things are not exactly how they seem. I'm trying to be strong and be a rock, but in my head I scream. I remember hearing all the noises, all the screams coming from the voices. Alarms went off and we all hear. My heartbeat pounding out of my ribs. I look up to the sky and I pray for grace. God, please protect my family from an early grave. Looking all around at the aftermath, holding on tight to the ones I had. The storm makes us stronger.
Where did you guys shoot this?
Nashville.
I mean, what was the building you're in?
That's actually at the top of a bank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They had a
We just
piano.
might have
They had a grand piano on the top of the bank for real.
together forever. However, I remember hearing all the noises, all the screams coming from the voices. Alarms went off and we all hid. My heartbeat pounding out of my rib. Look up to the sky and I pray for grace. God, please protect my family from an early grave. Looking all around at the aftermath, holding on tight to the ones I had. Ones I had. The storm makes us stronger. Oh.
Hell yeah. That was fucking awesome, man.
Thanks, brother.
Love
I
that.
appreciate that. Yeah, that's the new single that came out. There's that one, and then Picture, the song called Picture. It's actually a hip hop song.
Really?
Yeah, on my new album.
How many songs are on the album?
I have about 25 songs that I want to put on it, but I want to
Yeah.
probably narrow it down to about 14. That's why it's been supposed to come out 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, it was supposed to come out 2 years ago, but it's money. It
Yeah.
takes money to get stuff recorded.
Yeah.
And then you end up spending a lot of money. I spent, I don't know, $300 on a drum track that I don't even
Really?
want to use now. On several different versions of a drum track I'm not happy with, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't even want to use it. So I just, at this point, I probably won't use a drum track at all, but I still spent that money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So stuff like that happens, and it really eats into your budget,
Right.
you know. And because then you got to figure out how to, because it does no good just to make an album. People think, well, man, you need to make an album. Well, I got 3 albums. You know, you look up Marty Ray Project everywhere. There's albums all over the place.
Yeah.
But you got to have a way to market it. You got to have money to market an album.
Right.
Yeah. So, and that's really one of the main reasons that I started my podcast again. Because you know, how long you been podcasting?
About 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
I was podcasting in 2007.
Fuck. Are you
Before
serious?
Joe Rogan, before all
No
those people.
way.
Yes, sir. I mean, I haven't been doing it this whole time, but back then, my goal, I saw podcasting, and I go, this right here is the wave of the future. Back then, podcasting got no respect back then, but there was very few podcasts. I would try to get these guests to come on the show, and I'd be like, I'd like to have you on my podcast. They'd be like, a pod what? What's that? I'm
What
like,
does that even mean? It's a weird word, isn't it?
yeah,
Podcast.
yeah, pod.
The fuck did that come from?
That's a good question. Like, where did that come from? Did
Maybe
it
the iPod?
begin in a pod? That might be where it
Was
came
the
from.
iPod out there? I don't know.
Did the iPod come out in before 07?
Austin, when
yeah.
did the iPod come out?
Like probably 2000.
I bet it did come out. I bet that is what it came from.
Probably, right?
Yeah, surely.
Huh? 2001.
2001. I don't know when podcasting started 100%, but it wasn't long. It started just a shade before I started podcasting, because back then it was hard to find a podcast. If you wanted to hear a podcast, it was hard to find it. And we were doing the show, and it was kind of like the show we do now, which is called the Marty Ray Project Chats.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. It's just a lot like this.
Okay.
The same.
Where do you post it?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Okay.
Same way you do.
Okay.
Right? You post yours everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did that, but even we did it back then too. But there wasn't as many places. There was like, I think there was just like 2 or 3 places that you would post a podcast, and Apple was the biggest place. The only
Right.
still is.
Right.
And it's the only place you really cared about back then. So, but back then, anybody that posted a new podcast, they were put on. If you gave a good 8 weeks, that you were put on the new and noteworthy for podcasts back then.
Right.
So we had good success right out the gate, because we were like some of the only people doing it. back then, and actually had Darius Rucker on. That's very rude of you to yawn like that.
Woo! It's falling asleep.
Lee.
It's a long one.
Sorry I'm boring you.
Kept me up all night, Marty.
Yeah. Anyway, we had Darius Rucker come on back then. I had to make him think. I was when I was thinking about doing it. At first, we were calling it something, and then I changed it because I got tired of explaining to people what a podcast was. I was like, it's like radio, but it's not radio. And they would go, oh, it's radio. I'm like, no, it's not radio. They're like, oh, I don't want to do that then. I only do radio shows. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. So then I changed the name, and I called it Mimnash Radio. That was the name of the podcast. So that it would fool people, and it did. It worked. People thought it was a radio station.
That's pretty genius.
And I was able to get guests, like big-time guests,
Really?
like Darius Rucker. You know who Darius Rucker is, I'm
Yeah,
hoping.
I know who Darius Rucker
Hootie
is,
and the
yeah.
Blowfish.
Yep.
So I was able to get him
That
on.
was, that was actually the first concert I ever went to in my whole life.
Wow.
Was you at college?
No, I was probably 6 years old. My dad brought me.
Wow. So you still a fan?
I haven't listened to him in a long time, but I'll always be a fan of Hootie and the Blowfish.
Nice. Yeah, I like Darius Rucker a lot. Had his number for a long time. Used to text him randomly until he blocked me.
What? Stop.
That's true. That's true. I had his number in my phone for a long time, and because of that podcast years ago, I just had his number, and it just lived there. I didn't text him a lot, but every now and then I would bring it up. Like now, if I had his number right now, I'd text him. I'd be like, "What's up, bro?" And I would show you that, or I would call him like with Bert Kreischer. You know who Bert Kreischer is?
Yes. Yeah.
So he was on my podcast.
Really?
And, yeah, and this is a hilarious story about how that came about. And it was because I'm very persistent.
Yeah.
If I want somebody on my show, so
Right.
he ended up following me on Instagram, and so then I just kept on. At first, I sent him one message, and I said, "Hey, man, I'm a big fan of your comedy. I'd love to have you on my podcast." And now that's an OG podcaster,
Right.
Bert Kreischer.
Right.
So he goes, "Oh, I'd love to." And I said, all right. Well, how about this date, right? I gave him a date.
Right.
And then didn't hear nothing. And I was like, and then that went on for, I was like, question mark? Then I sent this emoji. yeah. Sent this emoji right here. Then I sent another one.
Yeah.
Then this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm sending these messages. And then he actually reads. I said, read some of those, because this went on for a year. Mm-hmm. A year I was sending these messages every month going, this is the monthly Marty message.
Monthly Marty.
Monthly Marty. I said, we'd love to have you on. I still love you. I know you're busy. You said you'd be on. Please, let us know.
Was he reading them? You know how you can see if they read
was
it?
reading them.
Oh, really? Just
Yeah.
not responding.
He just wasn't responding. And then he would respond occasionally. Like it would go 3 months, and then he would say, we're supposed to be, and he would say, it wasn't that he just wasn't interested. Mm-hmm. He actually was interested, but that's a busy dude, man. Like that guy's got 3 Netflix specials, a Netflix show. He's got 4 podcasts, I believe he does.
4 podcasts?
He's got Burt Bill, 2 Bears, 1 Cave, well, maybe 3, and Burt Cast. And I think there's one more, but I can't remember the last one. Maybe it's just 3. Then he's got that big show now, a game show on TBS.
Does he really?
Yeah,
Wow.
called Go Big. So he's a busy dude. It's not
Yeah.
like he's not busy. And he was touring the country. And then one time he messaged me back. He goes, "Hey, we're coming to Memphis. We're going to be in Memphis." And I was like, "Well, we need to." No, it wasn't. He didn't say we're coming to Memphis. I said, I see you're coming to Memphis. I'm from Memphis. Let's do the show while you're there. Do the podcast while you're there. And didn't hear nothing back. So then eventually he says, I'm supposed to be playing at the Ryman in Nashville. I said, okay, let's do it. It's it. He goes, and then he says, in Asheville. I said, you mean Nashville? And he goes, and he didn't respond. I said, you mean Nashville again? And I said, Nashville. Did you listen to it?
No.
You didn't hear that one?
Wait,
So-
the story or the podcast?
No, the podcast.
Episode, yeah. I
With
listened to the
Bert.
episode. It was
So
hilarious.
Bert gets on, and this happened for a year. This was a whole year, and Bert finally got on. And I said, read some of those messages. So he read through the messages. He was dying. He said, I feel like I know you. He said, you know what it's like? It's like getting to know your neighbor. I said, can I adopt you as my cousin? And he said, 100% I'll do that. Right? And so it's just like that's the thing is
Now
Bert's
they're
cool
cousins.
though. Yeah.
Is he?
He's very cool.
Where's he from? Where's he live?
I think he's from here,
From Florida?
from Tampa. I
Really?
believe. Yeah, I think so.
I can't remember.
Isn't he from Tampa? Yeah, he's from Tampa.
Wow,
Because
I
him and
didn't-
Mike Calta were friends.
What?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's insane.
Yeah, because we were talking about that on the show. Matter of fact, Mike, when he vetted me, because I didn't know that wasn't planned to be on that show.
Right.
That came.
How did that get set up?
This guy, I didn't know anything about the Mike Calta show.
Right.
Right.
It's a big famous show around here.
Right. I knew that. I know that now. But the club owner at Side Splitters, where we did the show,
Yeah.
apparently Mike was just going to he needed a guest, so he gets a lot of the comedians from there
Okay.
because it's a comedy club,
Right.
and he sees this bearded guy sitting there with a guitar, doing whatever, and he goes, I don't know if this is a comedian or what is this?
Yeah.
He looks me up and he goes, huh, Marty Ray, and then he sees where Bert Kreischer was on my podcast,
Yeah.
and he calls Bert, or he texts Bert. He texts Bert. He says, "Hey, Marty Ray project." He said, "Yada yada yada," and then Bert called him immediately, and he goes, "You'll love it. You'll love it." He said, "Do it." He goes, "Okay." So then I get a thing, and the Brian from the club, he says, "You're going to be on Mike Calta's show at 9:00 in the morning." Before the day of the show, which was yesterday, and I was like, okay. So I figured, to be honest with you, oh, here's a little radio show. Hopefully, I'll sell some tickets from it. And then when I said it at the first event, I was supposed to be on some show called Mike Calta Show or something. I didn't even know how to say his name, and they were like, Mike Calta Show or whatever. Or, how do you say it?
Calta.
Calta. Okay.
Calta, like California.
Yeah. So they said Mike Calta Show. That's a huge show. That's a huge show. That's what they said. So wow. Okay. So we go to his mansion, and we do his show because he's doing it out of his house.
Really?
And I was like, I didn't know DJs
He's
made
got a
this.
mansion?
It's pretty big.
Really?
Pretty big house. Yeah.
On the water?
No, it ain't on the water. It's not on the water.
Might have his own lake back there behind it.
He's got his own swimming pool, indoor swimming pool back there.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, radio.
I didn't know radio guys still made that kind of money besides Howard Stern.
I didn't know that either. That's what I'm saying. But they got a podcast too. Everybody's got a podcast
Everybody
now.
has a fucking podcast.
Now,
Yeah.
right? Back when I started,
Nobody.
the
had a
radio stations they look down on podcasts.
podcast. They still do, probably.
No, not now because they're all got their podcasts.
Howard's the one who looks down on podcasts.
He probably does.
Howard fucking shits on podcasts.
You know, Howard Stern show. I'm not the biggest fan of Howard Stern, but his show is the one that made me growing up. That was actually one of my dreams growing up. I was like, I want to have a talk show like that.
Really?
Yeah, like I want to do that. I want to bring people in and say, hey, play a little something for me. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Get to know people.
Yeah.
And they want to do that, and I get to do that for a living. That was like my dream more than music, to do that.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I seen I think I watched Private Parts, the movie.
Yeah.
And after that, I was like, I want to do that, man. I want to do what he does. And I don't even listen to his show even now. I've listened to a few things on YouTube and stuff, but I do like I like how he's. I don't know. He's very shocky. Like it's like a shock moment.
Yeah, he's very blunt about things.
Yeah,
Like,
and he does. Like in that movie they talk about where he. What was it about his wife? She had like a miscarriage or something. Remember that?
Yeah.
And he goes on the air and just starts making light of it. Mm-hmm. And then I think they get a divorce after that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, man. I was like, this is crazy. I didn't want to do nothing like that, but I was like, it's crazy what the lengths that he'll go to for his show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I wanted to always be able to. I've always wanted to be able to do that. So that's why I fell in love with podcasting because I didn't have to go through the radio, terrestrial radio. I said I can make a podcast right now. Mm-hmm. And before I did mine, Jared was actually podcasting before me.
Really?
Yeah, this guy right back here.
Come here, Jared.
Yeah,
Come on, Jared.
Come
let's
over
get
here,
you on
Jared.
Tag in.
Yeah, CJ's getting boring anyway.
He's getting tired. Is what he didn't get any sleep last night.
He wants to answer these texts.
There's a bunch of texts going on.
Yeah, Jared's back. I think he got over his hangover. He just went out there and vomited.
Did you really?
I did.
Yeah, right in your walkway.
Well, it's so nice that there's a ditch right here, so I can just,
Perfect, right?
I can do whatever
Yeah.
I need.
Perfect.
This is a podcasting OG right here, dude.
Really?
For real, yeah. He used to have how many podcasts you used to have?
I have been a part of at least 6 podcasts.
6 podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got 2. He's got 2 now.
You make films?
And I'm also a filmmaker. Yeah.
Really? How'd you get into that?
I actually went to Full Sail down here.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I tried to get. It's too expensive for me. It's like $80,000 for tuition.
Yeah, I could have been a doctor for the price that I spent to go be a.
Did you pay that money back yet?
No.
No, I don't know.
Did you not?
No, hell no. No one
still
who
paying
goes
on
to
that?
Full Sail
Oh, yeah,
pays
of
that
course.
back.
Really?
That's so fucked up.
And my,
what year did
my
you
parents helped
graduate?
me out a lot. So 2006.
2006. That's the year I graduated high school.
Oh God, no.
Golly, man, you still paying on that loan, bro?
Yeah, man.
How
Like I
many
said,
years was
no,
that?
and he's talking about that price, but then there's no dorms, so you pretty much have to get an apartment. And school is at really weird times, so it's really
No
hard.
scholarships or nothing.
No
At
scholarships.
Full Sail.
Well, I wasn't smart enough to get a scholarship, anyways.
Did they give scholarships at Full Sail?
I think
They
so.
they probably do now. Yeah.
Now, do you know how much you still owe on the loan?
I don't. I just try not to look at it.
How much do you estimate it might be?
But that I still owe.
Yeah.
It's got to be in the $30,000 range.
Golly, and that was how many years ago?
2006 you graduated.
2006. But I like I said, I spent well over $100,000 because, like I said, you had to get lodging and food and all that, and because the crazy schedule of the school, you couldn't really work,
And there's
So-
no way to be forgiven of that debt.
Oh no,
No fucking way.
That's bad, man. And then what's bad about that? Because if you're a doctor, you know that there's a light coming at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
At some point, you're like, hey, bring on the debt.
Yeah.
Let it be $300,000. I don't care because I'm about to be making that in a year.
Yeah.
With him, you don't know. You don't know what you're going to be making.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You go into that type of degree, you have no clue if you're how much you're gonna make, when you're gonna make it, especially if you're doing it like I'm independent. He's independent. He's doing it on his own. So what's the name of your company?
Flash Forward Films in Memphis, Tennessee.
Flash Forward
Film. I
Film.
feel like I've heard of that.
Well, he just started
we
the
just
new
started,
one.
but
you might have heard of his old one.
Yeah, I did. Which we're not going to talk about that one.
Let's not
But
talk about the old one.
Yeah. But anyways, I did a search. So I think I do own that name. I got the .com. So
Nice.
hopefully.
So do you all independent stuff yourself, or do you do?
I'm
do
a
you work
freelancer
on,
mosely.
Okay.
So, but I'm trying to get my own projects up and going. But I'm a director of photography, so I shoot stuff, So
Cool.
and I also do color grading, but
Yeah.
editing, and I mean, of course, you have to know everything. And
Of
we're in such a
course.
small market that
Yeah.
it's pretty much a lot of one man band stuff. So I go out and just do set up and do sound and everything, just for like corporate interviews. But our bread and butter is music videos.
You want to see the first big music video we did?
Yeah.
Pull up All My Friends Are Bearded.
All my friends are really.
Yeah. You ever heard of 21 Pilots?
What's it called?
21 Pilots. You heard of that band?
No.
You heard the song, All My Friends Are Heathens, You Take It Slow.
I think I have heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's from Suicide Squad.
Oh yes.
So I changed it to All My Friends Are Bearded. And we did that video. And there was a lot of people saying this is better than the original video.
You get that a lot.
4 million views on this.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. There we go. You shot this?
Yeah, he shot this one and edited it. This is at the Missouri State Penitentiary, the
Jefferson
deadliest
Penitentiary.
40 acres in the history of America. More people died in that prison from a
Death row there?
Yeah. They had
well. There's
gas
a riot.
chamber.
There was a riot there too.
All my friends are bearded, you should know. Hashtag never shave.
All that writing on that wall, he put in
It's all
there.
digital.
You have a shaved face.
See, Death Row. That's Death Row, but it's actually Death Row for beards in my video.
What my bearded friends can do. All my friends are bearded, you should know.
Is this an abandoned prison?
Yeah,
It's a museum now.
Well, it's a museum now.
And they were really cool, man. They just let us go. They gave us free reign.
They've asked us to come back.
That's fucking sick.
They've asked us to come back several times. They've asked me to come back. Now this one, if you play this one, you might have to just make them look this one up because
Yeah.
this was tricky to get the. Because this is actually a recreation of.
So this gets copyrighted.
Well, I mean, I still make money on this
Yeah.
because I recreated it from ground up. I'm not using their track. It's still my sound recording.
Right.
But I don't think you would get flagged, but there would be some monetization sharing.
Sharing.
Is what I'm
right.
saying.
Yeah, got you. Wow, that's sick. I love
that track is still
That's a
hot.
sick shot.
Yeah.
Which one was that one too? The one where he's playing in front of everybody, sitting on
yeah.
the chairs.
That's my little brother I'm choking out right there.
But look what my bearded friends can do. We grow our beards out very well. They call us beardalizer if you couldn't tell. Our beard so boss gets attention. Grow a beard, grand bell, make inventions. Don't be jealous of the beardo sitting next to you.
That's all digital. Those screens were blank. That took forever to do.
Hey, man.
Did the tape them blue or whatever?
No, man, we just rotoed it. Okay. It's a big square.
Probably a bit easier.
We just rotoed it. No big deal.
No, it was a big deal.
Quick roto job.
No, we got this video wrapped out in 4 days as far as, like, you know, yeah. We
It was
From when you
tough.
wrap shooting to add finished product?
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
It was. You talking about a tired fat boy right there, man.
We were trying to reach the no shave November.
There's the
mark.
dead beard graves. That's where all the dead
Those are all
beards.
digital as well because they wouldn't let us get in the grass.
Yeah, we couldn't dig holes in their grass for some reason.
okay.
You know what I mean?
It's a museum.
I don't know why.
Dude, this is a fucking beautiful video.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's super talented. And when he and I get together and work, it's magical because I know exactly what I want, and he knows how to achieve it.
So do you direct it too?
I'm kind of
guys both
really
do it?
directing
Okay.
my stuff, but he is a director
Okay.
most of the time. But he does help as far as I go. He's more of a DP on my stuff,
Right.
and then I say, "Look, this is what I'm trying to achieve," and then he'll
Okay.
say, "This is how we're going to do it."
I like composing the scenes and coming up with interesting ways to shoot things. And
The
you know,
color is amazing too.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that was back when he's actually grown in his ability to color now. So
That was a sick fucking video.
yeah. So that's what we do together. You know, when
Yeah.
we're together, it's like it's a dream team. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. What kind of other videos have you done? Like, who contracts you to do videos mainly?
I do a lot of like indie artists.
Okay.
And I actually work with a director, Hotkey Studios, Blake Heimbach, and he
Okay.
used to be in a band called One Less Reason, and
Okay.
he's like toured all over. So he
Okay.
has incredible music contacts, and so
Okay.
he's a music video director, and you know I'm his DP. So
Wow.
that's how I get a lot of my work. But then also, I really appreciate what I learned at Full Sail, and I value my time there. I mean, yeah, it's expensive or whatever, but I think what it did was it cemented what I wanted to do. Because I was a musician before anything. I was playing on Bill Street in Memphis and stuff at 16 years old. But I wasn't wanting to go to school for that and like be working in a recording studio, which is funny. What I actually do a lot is in recording studios.
Right.
But it kind of goes, it's full circle.
Yeah.
But basically,
It's full sale.
Full sale. Fuck. 100 grand. I would have been cemented in what I was going to do too after spending that
well,
much
you have
money.
to, right? But the
Yeah.
problem is that's been like, what, 15 years-ish, and
Yeah.
I just now am starting to make a living. And I've had to
Right.
learn a lot. So, like, I didn't learn to do what I do there, really. Like, I learned the basics of it and found the love for it. You know, took the idea to the next step. But it's taken 15 years
Yeah.
to actually just figure out why a light should be where it should be. You know, the concept of what actually goes into doing it and making it look professional. And then now let's figure out. So I'm in the stage of like, okay, now I know how to do it. Let's play. Let's let's figure out what it's going to take to actually get to the next step.
Yeah.
Pull up some commercial you made
A commercial I made?
or whatever.
Oh, man, you put me on the spot.
Yeah, pull up. We want to see. We want to see what you got.
Oh man, see, I don't like. I'm not very good at. I mean, I know quite a bit. I've learned a lot about lighting and stuff from like working on movie sets, but I'm not a fan of doing. I'm a fan of doing like natural stuff.
I love natural.
Yeah.
You know, there's no. I mean, I like to take something that's natural and just put an edge on it, or just fill it in just a touch and just kind of work with what's there, and it just comes out. That's styles now are more natural. There's a Chris Stapleton video that I saw the other day. I can't remember the name of it. It blew me away. Just how natural the lighting felt, and I knew that it was lit, but everything just felt so raw and real.
Yeah. Let me show you. I want to show you a commercial. This won't get copyrighted. This is a commercial I did like probably 10 years ago for. I entered. Before I got like any real like big commercial jobs or big work, I entered a contest, a commercial contest for Land Rover, and I won it.
Nice.
Wow.
And then they paid me to actually do another real one. So like these executives
Wow.
from Land Rover flew down from New York.
No
and
way.
It was crazy.
How much did they pay?
They paid me $8,000.
Nice. That's still good, dude.
I was like 20 years
That
old.
was your budget, or
That
that was your pay?
That was my pay.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
That's great.
they paid everything. They just paid me like, okay, you won. We'll pay you $8,000 to remake the commercial.
And you got to tell them. So on top of the $8,000, that was you got to say this is what we need, and they got it.
Yeah, but it was really like, so I shot the thing on a 5D, the original one that won the contest, and then so we're like, oh, we're gonna pay your whole budget to do the budget was like $30,000. And
Nice.
like pick everything you want. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a fucking red camera. I'm gonna get all these big lights. I hired like a grip company to come out and do all this stuff, and it was a shit show. I was trying to coordinate the grip people. I was trying to coordinate the camera operator.
So you needed a producer,
and I was trying to recreate it, and it fucking shit the bed.
Wow.
It was
Oh, no.
It was nowhere near as good as the original one.
were they not happy with it?
I don't know. I wasn't happy with it. I think they ended up using it, but it was nowhere near as good as the original.
You still got your $8,000.
Yep.
It's cool that they let you go through that process, though, because in my
Yeah.
head I was thinking
It was a
that
learning
they, that
experience.
they would bring out their people. There's like, great, we love what you did. Now we're going to do it, but you can kind of guide us.
I
through
think it would have
Right.
been better if they would have said, "Hey, here's the team we usually use. You just direct
you direct
them."
it. Like,
yeah, you
that's-
direct them.
That would have been a better play for them. But I think that's really cool that they allowed you to take those steps.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a crazy learning experience. It was one of the most stressful things I've ever done, especially being so young, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, now you're just an old man.
Here it is.
I'd be freaking out now.
Brush your teeth in less than 10
Commercial.
seconds with this revolutionary
Let
toothbrush.
them make their money,
It
bro.
was created by
Yeah.
So it's to promote their certified pre-owned warranty. So it's to get people to buy their used cars.
You got a good looking dude. He looks like the dude from Supernatural. And Superman kind of had a baby. Love this car.
He slapped it. Spank me. I'm gonna lick you. It's not his car. That's good, dude.
Yeah, man.
That's good.
No, you killed it, man.
No, man. That's the commercial right there.
Land Rover. Know who
Good
your
button,
car's
man.
been with.
That's good, bro.
The tagline was "Know who your car's been with."
I
so
love
like
that,
you
man.
buy a used car.
Know who it's been with.
Yeah.
If you guys aren't familiar,
Yeah,
that was
dude.
pretty
Good work on that, man.
Yeah.
I thought that was Austin talking.
Yeah, I thought he was jumping
I'm
in
like,
too.
what the freak? Austin, shut your mouth back there.
Here, I'm gonna show off one more to you real quick. This is
Please.
the last one, I swear to God.
Please.
This is one of my favorite commercials I ever did with Hulk Hogan. This is to promote his.
I think I saw that girl at coming out of the hotel the other day.
Well, there's a bunch of girls that look like that here.
This is to promote his beach bar restaurant in Tampa that he used to have.
I noticed that girls around here let their bottom butt cheeks hang out.
Nice buns, brother.
Thanks. I got them at Hogan's Beach. The best buns in town, baby.
Was that really from the behind? That really wasn't Jimmy Hart. I pray.
Yeah, that was his real ass.
No,
Hey, he's got a nice
I'm
one.
very confused about things now. That was good, man. I actually worked on his reality show when I was in Full
That's
Sail.
awesome.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, yeah.
The
for Pink
WWE
Sneakers.
one?
No, it was like the Hogan
Legends?
Best. No,
Hogan Knows Best.
Yeah, it was like the reality show. And,
No way.
Yeah, man. I worked for Pink Sneakers Productions on that.
Okay, yeah. I'm very familiar with that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fucking cool,
He
man.
should get a reality show.
That was like the peak of reality television.
Yeah, no, that was like a legit reality show.
Yeah.
yeah. He should get a new reality show called Hogan's Heroes.
That is something, isn't it?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm
it's,
saying
it's an old TV show.
it's an old TV show.
Yeah.
but it wasn't about Hulk Hogan. You know.
Right.
Anyway, have you had Hulk Hogan in here?
I haven't had him on the podcast yet.
Are you still in connections with him?
Yeah, I'm still in connection with him. I don't know if it'd be a good idea to do the podcast or not. I mean, I don't know. Everything's always like a drama in his life.
Yeah. Well, that's
just good for you, man.
It's good content.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It would be great content. I don't think I've ever seen him on another podcast.
I don't think I've ever seen him on a podcast either.
I mean, everyone else has a podcast. Fucking Ric Flair, not the Rock, Stone Cold has a podcast.
Everybody at this table has a podcast.
Yeah,
Everybody nowadays does have a podcast.
Every single fucking.
And
person.
it's harder.
My dog has a podcast.
It's harder now than it was back in the
Might have
day.
an Instagram page.
It's harder to make it, like get like viewers.
It's hard to get downloads and whatnot now than it was back then, because at least back then there was a niche audience of podcast listeners, and they didn't have much to choose from. So they were finding podcasts, and now it's just I mean, there's millions and millions of podcasts.
Yeah, it's insane how shit changes. Like when I first got introduced to the internet and videos and like videos like going viral or whatever, it was always just like short skits. You know what I mean? Like short, like sketch comedy things like that, or like
YouTube,
like prank videos. Like you would try to come up with the next like funny thing like that, or like
remember
prank.
Niga Higa?
Yes,
that's the first YouTuber that I ever started watching. Yeah, he was like from the cut. He was like on the very beginning, the inception of YouTube. You remember him?
You talked about him, but I don't really I've seen some things.
Whatever happened to him?
I've been hounding him on Instagram, just like I did Bert Kreischer.
Really?
Yeah, trying to get him on my podcast.
Oh, that would be fucking amazing.
He won't respond. I don't even know if he runs his account. You know, but I leave a comment every time I see it. A post. I go, love to have you on a podcast. You're the reason I'm on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was literally a boy. He was younger than me. He was a kid at the time. He's making these stupid videos in his parents' house.
Yeah. And
I just would laugh at him. And I was like, man, we need to do this. We need to broadcast ourselves. That's what it's called. YouTube, broadcast yourself. And before Google, it owned it, you know, and no ads. It was just people, anybody releasing whatever they thought was cool.
Right.
They were broadcasting themselves. So like he kind of put that little spark in me a long time ago. I was already a grown man. And I was watching these kids on, that sounds weird.
You actually just bring that up. Yeah, that's weird. It's weird that you started, like, you know, you jumping into something that's actually controlled mostly by younger people, you know?
Yeah. And he was the one that made me go, I'm going to do this. I got to do this, you know? And then, so I'd love to get him on the show. I don't know.
That would be amazing.
Maybe he listens to this. Ryan, if you're listening, which camera? That's that camera, I think. Ryan, if you're listening, I'd love to have you on my show, brother. Let's be brothers. Ryan, where you going?
Come on, Ryan. Where the fuck are you, Ryan?
Just trying to grow your family.
Just trying to adopt more cousins, man. Will you be my cousin?
I'll be your cousin.
I'm really trying to figure out. Bert had it.
We can be kissing cousins if you want.
Hey, well,
it's better than wiener cousins.
I'm gonna lick you like you had that guy lick that Land Rover.
Ooh, you promise?
Yeah. Well, it depends on where. But, yeah. Jared will take up my slack for other places.
Oh, no problem. Yeah.
This is a guy who'll eat anything. Will you eat anything?
I won't eat anything.
Really?
What's the craziest thing you've ever eaten?
The craziest thing I've ever eaten?
I mean, the most nuts thing.
Oh, fuck. Probably a heart.
You ate a heart?
I ate a heart of a cow.
Like a cobra heart?
No, not cobra heart. Probably, I think it was a cow heart. I ate a part of a cow heart.
Yeah. How was it?
Not very good. I don't think it was that good.
Was it raw?
No, it wasn't raw. It was cooked.
Where do they sell this at?
You can get it at butcher shops.
Yeah, you can get it at butcher shops.
Really?
Yeah.
Of course.
There is this, you ever heard of Kopi Luwak coffee?
Kopi Luwak?
Kopi Luwak.
No.
This is a coffee that, what happens is there's this weird cat out in the wild, and it eats coffee beans, and then it poops them out.
What?
Then they take the turd.
I've heard of this.
And they get the beans out, and then they make coffee out of it.
It balances the flavor.
I have that coffee. We're doing that on our podcast. We're going to taste test this coffee, this poop coffee.
So excited to drink it.
It's very expensive. It's the most expensive. I paid this little bitty pouch. I paid $60 for this tiny pouch of coffee.
How many cups do you get out of that?
It looks like maybe, I don't know, 2.
Because what if it's amazing and we just want to keep drinking it?
Then fork over some money and get some more.
What does it do to you? Does it get you like super fucking jacked on caffeine?
It's
not even about that. It's about the flavor.
It's supposed to be about the flavor. I don't know.
And they just harvest cat shit.
Yeah.
I mean, who figured this out, right? Who goes, turd?
No, someone was like, crap, he ate all the coffee. Well, no, the beans are still here.
The beans are still here. Like, how do you figure out that you can still, that this is going to taste good, and why? Why does it taste different? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyway, we're trying it.
Of course.
So we're going to report back.
I can't wait to see that. Where did you buy it from?
Amazon.
Silk Road? Oh.
Amazon.
No, it's not illegal.
It's not illegal.
Sounds illegal.
It does.
He thought it was black market stuff.
Let me tell you what we found.
What was that website you just called off, bro?
Silk Road.
Is that your black market website you started?
Yeah, Silk Road.
No, man, that's where you can buy drugs and crazy shit on the
Not
internet.
anymore.
Really?
The FBI, if you go there now, I think it says like seized by the FBI.
If you
You
go
learned
try
that
to buy
from
something,
Boziak, didn't you?
No, I actually knew about that before Boziak, but Boziak knew all about it.
I'm sure he did. I see. You see who else does over
Do
here?
you have to pay for that coffee with Bitcoin?
Those Litecoin.
Litecoin?
Yeah. No. Paid for it with real money.
Okay.
Amazon points.
Well, I can't wait to fucking see you try that. Amazon points?
Paid for with real money. Amazon points.
How do you say it again? The name of the coffee?
Kopi Luwak.
Kopi Luwak.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the one with the big cat on it.
Okay. All right. I'm going to try that.
Are you going to try it?
I'm going to try it.
Man, I wish you were closer. You could come try it with us and on our show.
How
but
far is it from? Did you drive here?
I drove here.
How long did it take you?
10 hours.
10 hours. That's not
Yeah.
that bad.
It's not that bad. If you want to come up and
I do want to come up there.
come up and be on, we'll schedule that show because it's like we'll have you as a guest. And
My friend shot a documentary in Tennessee. I forget the name of the town, but the name of the documentary, it won Tribeca Film Festival. It's called Oxiana. Have you heard of it?
I think that
It's a town. It's an old coal mining town where everyone's addicted to oxys. Everyone's addicted to heroin.
was the movie poster like a pink, neon pink on the front or no?
No.
No, that ain't it then. There was a movie that came out of Memphis that was, you know what I'm talking about? Okay, never mind.
Anyways.
It don't matter. He don't know movies.
Yeah. They don't get the same content.
You know what a movie is?
Yeah, I think so.
You've ever heard of one?
I know what a podcast is.
Yeah, you should try to look up some movies.
All right, I'll try it.
Let me know what you think about movies when the next time we talk.
Oh, fuck.
I don't want to take up the rest of your day here.
No, I appreciate it, man.
I don't know how long.
We're about 2.5 hours in.
I don't know how long your podcast goes.
I don't know how much longer you guys are staying in Florida, but I don't want to keep you here for the rest of the time.
You ain't bothering us. I'm talking about you. Your time is we can talk forever, dude.
I think we
You got to cut us off.
I think we did a pretty good. We covered a lot of shit. This was a great fucking podcast.
Man, I enjoyed it. I always enjoy it because I like to hear myself talk.
Yeah, I like to hear you talk too. You have,
Do you?
You have a beautiful voice.
You mean to send you some
Serenade me.
You mean make your voicemail?
Serenade me one more time.
You mean to make your voicemail and say, Marissa, I love you.
Yeah, that's gonna work out good.
Hey,
For his
send this to your girlfriend, Austin. Right? Remember that?
Oh yeah,
You remember that from Howard Stern? Have you ever seen
sitting on the
You ever
speaker?
seen Private Parts,
the
Austin?
Sibian?
You remember what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
When he tells that girl to sit on the speaker.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Isn't that weird? And he's like, "Go ahead, sit on the speaker."
And he sits there. Yeah, he does exactly.
And she's like having an orgasm right there on the radio live, and that really happened in real life. And you're like, "This is strange, man."
Marissa would definitely do something like that. She would. If we had a Sibian, Marissa would be on the Sibian.
Oh wow.
What's a Sibian?
You don't know what a Sibian is?
You don't know what Roadhouse is.
Fair enough. You had that locked and loaded.
I was
didn't
waiting. I was waiting for CJ. Roadhouse. Roadhouse.
You had that locked and fucking loaded. The Sibian's like it's like a saddle type thing with like little knobs on it that the girls get naked and they sit on it, and and they have a remote control that makes it vibrate, and they sit on it and they ride it like a saddle. It's not like
Why
a
did you
full-on-
say it as if everybody knows what this is?
I thought
Did you know
everybody
what
knew
this
it.
was?
I didn't know what it was, but I've seen it.
You don't have a Sibian in your house, bro?
I didn't know the brand name. I
We
was
all
like,
have them down here in Tampa.
He threw it out like, bro, you don't have a Peloton?
It's like the most common thing ever. It's like a couch in your house. He's like, hey, mom's like, hey, did you get the Sibian cleaned? Hey, go clean the Sibian. It's dirty. It's filthy.
Marty, it's better if you don't clean it.
All right. I'll download Roadhouse and you go buy a Sibian. All right.
When you come to the show, we're gonna test out two things: poop coffee and Sibians. We're gonna be,
Well, I'll bring
this
Marissa.
coffee's
I'm
great.
going to bring Austin and Marissa with me too. So.
Yes. So we'll get her on the Sibian.
Yeah,
we're
we'll get her
also
on Sibian.
doing on that show. We're doing again. That's the Marty Ray Project chats.
Yep.
We're also going to test out my buddy, who's the co-host of it, Chris Wallen. He's actually a hit songwriter. Country songs you probably wouldn't know much about. We're actually he thinks that you like White Castle, or do y'all have a White Castle here?
White Castle's all right. Yeah. No, we don't have a White Castle here, but you can buy them frozen.
Okay, well that's not.
Are there crystal here?
I've been to no. There's no Crystal here.
Wow.
I've been to White
Y'all
Castle.
have no slider sandwiches
No,
here, huh?
no.
But y'all got some good burgers.
But
though.
I've had Crystal and White Castle on road trips up north before.
Which one better?
I don't remember. I was so young.
Yeah, you could care less probably.
I know.
Yeah, you going off of a frozen box of White Castle.
I like Bojangles.
Okay.
Chicken biscuit, bro.
Okay. Sure, that's good.
They have good tea.
I mean, you ain't gonna get me to argue about any food.
Okay.
Right? I like Bojangles too, but anyway, my buddy thinks that Crystal is better. You say Crystal, so I repeated you, but we've always called it Crystals.
I think White Castle is known to be better than Crystal.
That's the first fast food restaurant of all time.
Really?
Yeah, I proved this to him. He didn't believe me a long time ago, and I don't know if he remembers, but he went and looked it up. He Googled me, and it's true. Google it, whoever's listening or watching. That's the first one ever, and they're still, unless they just recently changed, family owned. They never franchised. That's why they've never been all over the place like
Well, they're not in
McDonald's.
Florida.
Right, and that they're not even in Memphis.
No.
Yeah, so I couldn't get White Castle.
Where the hell are they?
Nashville.
Only Nashville.
No, there are other places, but
Okay.
they're just speckled.
Oh, okay.
They're not like, it's not even like Crystal, and definitely not McDonald's. But anyway, we're doing a blind taste test of that.
That's gonna be great.
We're doing the to see if I can tell, because it's really about me. Because I told him, I said White Castle's superior to Crystal, so we're going to blind taste test it. We did that with the Whopper, the Impossible Whopper. You ever had this?
No.
This piece of crap. Do you eat Whoppers?
I don't fuck with Burger King, bro. No, I don't like Burger King.
Well, if you ever don't do the Impossible Whopper, because it is not possible. They're right.
If you have
It's
a
impossibly
vegetarian
Whopper.
friend that you hate, give that to them.
We pull this thing out, and they're like what it is the producer, he gets plates and he puts A and B on them, right?
Okay.
So we don't know which burger's which. But immediately when I open A, I think it was A. Was it A?
It was A.
When I open A, I smell this chemical type weird smell. I'm like, I can tell you right now which one of these is a fake burger. And without even taking a bite, it's this one. So then I took a bite, and it was the most atrocious thing ever.
Was it really?
Yeah, and you have all these people saying, making videos, you can't tell the difference. And I'm going, what kind of freaking meat are y'all eating?
If you're a vegetarian and you haven't eaten meat in forever, I will say that the texture's pretty there. It just tastes like chemically, like liquid smoke, if you've ever put that in something. Anyways, but if you don't eat meat,
here's what I think they did with it. It tastes like if a cat ate it.
Shit,
Yeah.
but it didn't make it better. Like,
And then they picked those, patty it out. Impossible Whopper. That's what it tastes
That's
like.
fucking awful.
You know, with that coffee, Marty, I just thought that we should, because another one we wanted to do is if you could tell the difference between Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, yeah.
I hate Starbucks.
So
I hate Starbucks. Oh, bro.
So we need to do the cat.
My man.
the cat
He's
shit
a
coffee.
freaking fangirl of Starbucks.
I think that I like actually like mom and pop small
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I have somebody.
I think Starbucks gets closer to the flavor.
The
and
best,
quality.
my favorite coffee. I mean, Dunkin' Donuts is okay. My favorite coffee, fast food, is McDonald's coffee.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never tried McDonald's
Really,
coffee.
just I get large black coffee from McDonald's with cream and whatever you like in it. But McDonald's, the coffee, the flavor is so consistent through it's never different.
Right.
And it's always good.
My favorite coffee is, as far as getting it from a store. What's your favorite coffee you get from a store?
I like the stuff. I forget what it's called. It comes in the big yellow can. It's called I can't remember the name of it right now. But you buy it at Publix. It's a round yellow can, like a tin can.
Is it the espresso, like the instant coffee, like that?
No,
Okay.
no.
He don't do instant coffee. Look at this.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
I was just thinking of the yellow can.
That's some kind of coffee thing.
Yeah, I don't even pay attention to what the fucking brand is, but I always buy the yellow container.
Have you ever tried Community?
No.
The big red pouch? You try Community coffee?
Yeah.
I love Community coffee. I don't know why.
Where'd you get it?
I think you can get it anywhere.
Really?
It's not like a bougie brand or nothing.
You should be able to get
Okay.
it at Albertsons.
Yeah, but I love that coffee.
Albertsons.
What is
You guys
that?
have Albertsons?
No, I just used to live here.
He's from here. He's he's throwing out the language, the lingo.
Well, if I did say Kroger, I don't know if they have Kroger here.
No,
That's
there's
true.
no Albertsons here anymore either.
Oh, are those gone?
Those are gone.
That
Those
shows
have
how long it's been
gone.
since I've been here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just went broke.
Yeah, they went fucking all belly up. It's all Publix now.
Wow.
Why you gotta say belly, dude?
Belly up.
There's a bunch of belly on this side of the table, my
Yeah,
friend.
there's a lot of belly over here if you be saying belly.
I learned that from a real estate guy who weighs like 400 pounds. Jewish guy from New York, and whenever he talks about anything goes out of business, he always says belly up. I just
Belly up.
got
Yeah.
that from him.
Yeah. He would know.
Yeah, he would know.
He sleeps belly up.
He's a fat fuck.
Yeah. That's what I am too, unfortunately. Oh man. I'm at the end of my liquid death.
All right,
How long
guys.
does it take you to die?
You don't die. What you do is
That's
murder.
the treat.
You murder your thirst. So
I will say this.
You murdered your thirst.
I will say this about this Liquid Death. I would have never tried this just because of the name. I actually thought this was an alcohol.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Everyone thinks it's alcohol.
My buddy, who's also been on my podcast, you ever seen the show?
Bert drinks that shit.
Does he?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the show on Netflix called Slobby's World?
No.
I forgot. You don't watch TV. All you do is sitting here and do a podcast. I forget. when we're done, he's got somebody else coming in. He's like, "You're ready to go back?" Anyway, he was on my podcast too. His name's Robbie, and he must be sponsored by these people because he's always posting stuff about them as well.
Yeah.
And I saw it, and the whole time I thought it was alcohol. When you pulled it out, I was like, that sounded weird too when he pulled it out.
Yeah.
If whoever's just listening, I'm saying when he pulled out,
When he whipped it out.
the liquid death.
That company has the most genius marketing out of any company I've seen that I can remember. Their commercials are fucking fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you,
so funny.
The most genius marketing was Starbucks. That's why they're so. If you remember, what did Starbucks do? Like, what did they do? Think about this. This is genius.
What is their fucking logo, anyways? It's like a mermaid.
It's some kind of demon mermaid. Anyway, yeah, it is. It's some kind of demon sex god. Anyway, the point is this. Here's the marketing, though. This is actually genius. They said, what we're going to do is first of all, we're going to write your name on your cup. Whatever you say, though, we'll write. So how many people were saying, we're going to say, stupid little whore. We're going to say that. And they would go, okay, stupid little whore. And so then they would take pictures of that and post it all over, like, here's our Starbucks coffee. And then people were doing that. And they were taking pictures because it was funny. So then what did that do? That brainwashed people. So then you start seeing things that you don't really notice. Like, you remember I keep talking about movies. You don't know. You ever seen the movie Zoolander?
The audience might
I've
know.
seen Zoolander.
Zoolander, right? You remember the scene where the man models are in the dorm, and then they go, what did they say? Double mocha frappuccino. What are they? Right. And then they jitterbug. Jitterbug, and then they're in the jang got to my brain.
That's a great montage.
They're drinking Starbucks, right, as they're driving. And after that, wake me up before. And they get to the gas station.
Oh,
now, this is crazy. They get to the gas station, it explodes. The last thing you see is this Starbucks cup going bam, logo right in the center frame of the screen. People don't really notice it because it's so quick, but I noticed it. I said, how much did they pay?
You think it was intentional?
100% intentional.
totally probably
Now go watch the scene. At the end of it, when you go, you don't even know. You'll notice it now. But most people, it's just you see that cup goes. Zip, it's that logo hits you dead center. Right? There's no way it's not intentional. They had to make that's digital. So they made that cup do that.
Right.
So then all that happened. Then the celebrities, that was the celebrity coffee. That's really one of the reasons I hate it. Because I'm like, that you just like it because they told you to like it. Like that's the way a lot of people are today. Because it's the cool place to get coffee.
Right.
You know what I mean? All they're doing, he is right though. They're just trying to mimic local coffee shops. They're trying to act like they're a local coffee shop.
Right.
So they kind of got that little atmosphere, and then they try to claim that they're the ones. They're the fathers of it or queens of it or whatever. You know what I mean? Like. Everybody else is copying them, but that's not the truth. They're just copying the local. That's how the feeling was. Is this not true?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're trying to say, but I also just think that they're
He's getting a little heated.
I'm about to get really angry. I'm about to knock this shit out.
Get this out of here.
No, I just think their quality's better and the flavors. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's too complicated for me. It's just too hard to get a coffee from there. Like, I just like basic coffee. Like whenever I have to go there to get my wife a coffee, she has to send me like this 2-page long text of what it's called with this, substitute this for this.
Right. Stupid. Then they can't just say large.
Oh no, you can't say large.
What kind
Grande.
What kind of daggone satanic code are you having to read to order your coffee? It's like, I'll take a venti latte, blah, blah, and you're saying these weird words, and they're like, I got him.
There's an app with photos now, Marty. You just tap it.
Is there?
One thing I do fuck with at Starbucks, though, I now just thought of it, is their hot chocolate. I like their hot chocolate.
Never had it.
I'll go there for their hot chocolate. That's it.
Never had that. The only thing I've ever had from there, my wife used to go there a lot back in the day, and the only thing I would ever get was the black tea, which was good.
Is it?
But it wasn't like Southern sweet tea or nothing. But since she was there, I would get a black sweet tea and a scone. Scone.
Can't go wrong with a scone.
Scone, bruh.
Cool. That's a great way to end this fucker.
Yeah, it was
We just
scone.
did 3 hours. Tell everyone where they can follow you and find all your music and everything else.
Oh, we're not done.
Okay. Let's keep going.
At Marty Ray Project, everywhere. Please listen to the original music. Give it a shot. I love all of you. The Marty Ray Project Chats is the podcast. You can hear it wherever you hear podcasts. And please rate and review like you hopefully are doing with this one. You ask people to rate and review your podcast?
Yeah, will you rate and review this one?
I 100% will.
What do you give it?
This one on my show?
Yeah.
A 13 star.
Woohoo!
You know what I mean?
It's weird you went 13.
Cha-ching.
You know why I said 13? Because most people are scared of 13. I'm not superstitious, so I choose. Like I really want to put 13 songs on my new album just to show people I don't freaking I don't care about that.
And that's why all this Illuminati stuff's around, and people are going to be thinking, Marty put that 13 on there.
I know. You know what's funny? This is real quick, and I'll let you go. He's my guest. You're my guest now. Real quick, I'll let you get out of here. No,
I am your guest.
The album I want to call it 3. I wanted it to be titled 3, right?
Dale Earnhardt?
No, because it's my 3rd full album.
Okay.
I got 3 albums, but the first one's an EP. So I wanted to call this one 3. And the number 333 is a number for completion, right? And that's even scriptural. That's even in the Bible. So I did on the album cover, I made this image where it's got this little stamp. And on the stamp, it says THR 333 for 3, right? And I posted this, and I was like, what do y'all think about this thing? And they go, man, I was hoping you wouldn't join the Illuminati. I was like, what? They was like, yeah, I was hoping you wouldn't become a Satanist. I was like, what the I'm the furthest thing from that. And I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? They're like, you got all these 3s, man. I'm like,
The 666 is this number.
Right.
yeah. And then somebody said, that's half of 666, bro. I was like, well, okay.
Wow.
What does that mean?
What the fuck is 666 half of?
So what is 12, 12, 12 then? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so then I just said, you know what, I'm taking that off. It's too confusing. So it's just going to be a self-titled album at this point.
Okay.
Anyway.
I love it.
And I want Jared to be able to say he's got a podcast called Tour Stories.
Yeah. What's it called?
I could give you all my deets if you want.
Yeah. Give us all everything.
You can find me on Instagram at Check the Gate, on Twitter at Jared B. Callen, and both my podcasts, Tour Stories and The Movie Crew, on Apple Podcasts.
And one more person, CJ Wilder. He's a phenomenal artist. Here you go, buddy.
Give us the deets.
You can find me on Instagram at the CJ Wilder. You can find me on Facebook at BNA CJ Wilder. And I think my Twitter is just CJ Wilder. Please like and subscribe.
You see how often he doesn't plug himself? He goes, I think my Twitter's something.
You got to have it in the can, man.
Yeah.
Marty, what's your OnlyFans?
MartyRayDoesThings.com.
OnlyFans.com.
Yeah, is that how it goes?
Yeah.
Do you have an OnlyFans? You look like a guy who would have an
No, I
OnlyFans.
don't have a fucking OnlyFans.
You know Sandlot?
Yeah.
Do you ever get compared to anybody on Sandlot?
No, I get compared to Napoleon Dynamite and Michael Cera.
I don't see that. You see what I'm saying, though? Sandlot?
You talking about the main dude?
No.
Wait, who are you talking about on the Sandlot?
Not the catcher, but the...
No, what's his name?
I can't remember his name.
He's the coolest character in the whole thing. What's his freaking name? Shoot.
I don't know.
What's his freaking name?
The glasses help.
It's the glasses.
Alfalfa?
No.
No, it's not.
Have you
Bud
seen
Hall.
Sandlot?
Yes.
Austin, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't know.
What is his name? It's not Smalls. It's
Benny?
no, it's not Benny. It's
What the fuck are we talking about?
this kid right here. I don't know. There he is. Oh, Squints. Squints.
Squints. I have heard that.
Squints. You've heard that, haven't
I
you?
have heard that.
Yeah.
Someone has called me Squints before.
There you
I
go.
don't know if that's a compliment now that I know who you're talking about, but he does have the best part.
I
in
didn't
there.
say
He
it was a
goes-
compliment.
He goes,
Well, it definitely
but
wasn't a
I
compliment.
wasn't trying to tear him down. He's better looking than Squints.
forever.
Yeah.
That guy.
He could call me whoever he wants to call me. Fat Albert. I don't give a freak. This guy's not sensitive. He's a podcast guy. He's not sensitive. I'm sure. I hope.
Yeah, I don't.
Thanks for the liquid death.
You're welcome. Anytime, man. Thank you for
so
coming
down.
down here, all the way down here
We
to
came down here
Florida.
all the way just for you.
I appreciate that, man.
And it turned into something really, really amazing. So
It did.
Thank you
we've
for having us.
We formed a really strong bond here,
Yes, sir.
and I hope we can do it again.
That was a weird handshake. We're gonna do that again because you kind of He shook my hand like this. Get this on the
he was
camera.
too
goes,
fast. He was too
He goes
fast.
like this. He grabs it.
Let's
and
go. Let's do it again.
You got to meet.
There we go.
Oh,
And
you're
look at these hands.
Man, yeah.
You got some big old. You got some big hands.
Yeah, right. I got little baby hands.
Some massive.
I got little typewriter hands.
This man's got hands like a gorilla, and he's the size of squints.
You've got meaty hands, and he's got like bigger hands. You know?
I got these big old sausage fingers. Look at
Sausage fingers. Yeah, mine are. I got bony fingers.
these. Yeah. Hey, before I go though, what is we're trying to find some really good dessert.
I thought you were gonna say strip club.
No, well,
No, you just turned a corner, bro.
those are everywhere.
Oh man.
In Tampa, what's
The
some
whiskey.
good dessert?
Good dessert.
Yeah, you don't eat
This
dessert.
man doesn't eat dessert. He doesn't watch
What
movies.
kind of
dessert?
dessert? What kind of dessert?
I don't give a freak. What kind of dessert you eat?
Like an ice cream shop?
Never mind on the dessert. What's the best? What's the best?
I don't. I've never had anybody ask me where's the best dessert.
Do you eat dessert?
Like somewhere around here.
There's a really fancy restaurant in Tampa that has like this crazy, extravagant like dessert room.
See,
No way. See, now you're talking.
now we're talking.
But this is like a high class.
We don't care about that.
What are you saying?
You guys
Yeah.
don't
What
look
are
like
you trying
saying
to
we
you
can
say?
guys
afford
don't
it?
look like you make reservations
No,
for
remember-
steakhouses.
He goes, "You're a tow truck driver.
Yeah.
You're not going to this place."
If you want to go to like a fancy steakhouse that has a fucking dessert room that
Yes.
looks like it's from a cabaret movie, it's
Yes.
called
Oh no,
Burns. Burns Steakhouse in Tampa. Yeah.
burns your
nice.
money.
You been there?
I've been there a couple times. Yeah, it's really.
Do you
fucking
have to
good.
dress up to
Yeah.
go there?
Yeah, you got to dress up. I think.
Son of a.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Call him and ask him. Call him, make a
I'm
reservation.
gonna call him.
They don't open till 5.
Well, shoot.
But it's the best dessert place. That's like fancy dessert you're gonna get in Tampa. I think.
Okay.
As far as I know.
What about food wise? What's your forte in food?
I like one of my favorite food places. Do you guys like Cuban food? Or do you guys like?
I like Cuban sandwiches, but he likes.
There's a place called La Teresita in Tampa. It's right around the corner from like Strip Club Alley, where like Ma's Venus and all those like famous strip clubs
Where our
are.
hotel is.
Yeah, it's called La Teresita. It's like a little like diner, mom and pop, like back alley looking place, and there's all run by no one speaks English in there, and it's open 24/7 on the weekends. And they have the best fucking like rice and beans and pork and Cuban sandwiches and
Isn't a lot of that food hot though, like spicy?
no, not really. It's not
No?
spicy. No.
No?
No.
Okay, so Cuban's your favorite food.
And they have they have the best Cuban coffee. They have you can get like I don't know, everything there is delicious. I really
Nice.
highly recommend La Teresita.
That was called La Teresita.
Yeah, La Teresita.
We might go eat there now.
That place is great. I wish I could go there with you guys.
Feel free.
That place is fucking delicious. I
Come
got too
on.
much shit to do. I can't.
I forgot you got another podcast.
It's so far.
coming
Tampa's so fucking far.
in. Yeah. Well, you're the only person that says that. Everybody else is like, "Oh, it's just right down." Like Tyler, right? When he booked
Yeah.
me here, I said, "Well, how far is that from Tampa?" He goes, "Oh, it's right down the road." And I was like, "Really?"
Well, he's trying to convince you to come do the podcast.
Well, no, I
it's
didn't.
nothing. It's nothing.
Yeah, it didn't
He's like-
matter. And I was like, but then it comes out, it's like 45 minutes. Oh,
It's it's a drive.
it's out here. You
It
out
is.
here.
Oh yeah, we're out here.
Yeah,
We're
out here.
on the beach.
It takes longer in Florida to get to places than it does back in Tennessee.
I know.
It's
There's
the
so
same,
many
the same,
people
same
here, bro.
distance,
It's
but like it's just
insane.
like it takes like forever.
So
I don't
much
like that.
traffic here. It's crazy. It's like fucking LA. This
Yeah.
is literally like LA traffic or Miami traffic.
Have
here.
you been to LA?
Yeah. I hate LA.
I hate it too.
I can't stand LA.
I hate the traffic here. I don't hate this area. I hate the traffic of all coastal cities. I hate the traffic and the architecture. I don't like it. You know, I'm more of a brick and mortar type thing.
Yeah.
That's what I like because I'm from Tennessee and Arkansas, that area. So all here in LA, it's all stucco, like a lot of stucco stuff.
And they're all wood frame houses. It's crazy. All those fires over there and everything's made of wood.
Yeah, right.
I was just there like a couple weeks ago, and we were driving across through on the highway, like towards the beach in whatever, right by the airport, Santa Monica, and there's a fucking just casual fire burning on the side of the road, like flaming up the side of the interstate, like 10 feet high.
Wow.
A casual one.
Just a casual fire. Cars just going around it, and you can see like 2 blocks away. There's all these apartment buildings being built, wood frame, just all wood apartment buildings. I'm like, wow,
Right.
it's crazy.
Well, I mean, I don't know what else they're gonna build it with. I mean, metal studs, but that's very expensive.
Concrete block. I mean, I guess it's too expensive, but
Oh, you talking about like cinder block buildings?
Yeah, like block.
That makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah. That's true. I didn't think about that. There are
It's cheaper to build it to frame them out with wood instead of cinder blocks.
But even on the inside, you still got to frame it with wood.
Right. But
get
when
the
the whole
sheetrock up.
structure's wood, I mean, I don't know. It seems like it'd catch fire easily.
You might be right.
I don't know.
Well, let's test it.
Let's test it. Let's
You
do
know,
it.
the building we can burn.
Let's go build a house.
No, there's plenty of houses already built.
You want to set some buildings on fire?
Yeah, you know what
Let's do
abandoned.
it.
You know what
Let's go
abandoned
do it
building?
right now.
Yeah. He's like, forget about the stuff I got to do. All right,
All right. Thanks, guys.
all right, brother.
Adios.
Cheers.